We introduce ourselves probably.
Talk. It's fine.
All right. All right, guys. So we are getting ready for the top 8 cut of Destiny Nationals 2018. My name is Shah, or Shaheen.
And I'm Alfredo.
So, guys, as you can see on the screen, one of the decks is starting to set up. This is the Qui-Gon Yoda deck. I believe you can see on the screen as well the entire contents of both decks.
I think that's only for us, but yeah.
It's on the screen.
All right, and then we have Jeff Jenkins playing Elite Palpatine. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed to see that in the top 8. It's been a deck that has lost favor as a result of legacies and indirect damage. So as you guys can tell, there may have been less indirect damage today than average.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, a lot of people think that once you remove Palpatine's die, you're safe, right? Because it's like, okay, they're out, I don't have to deal with them. But you'll be surprised what this guy has in store in his deck to deal with that, right?
Exactly. So as you guys can see from the deck lists, Palpatine's actually been built much more as a control build, even further than before. He's got very few upgrades, aside from things like Resilient to keep his dice in the pool. Almost everything else is to counter his opponents.
Yeah, a lot of events. A lot, for sure. Whereas Qui-Gon Yoda, it's more about consistency, upgrades, just rolling, fixing dice.
Getting all of his dice exactly where he wants them on specials, as well as resolving those shields off of Yoda's specials to keep Qui-Gon throwing forward.
Yeah, for sure. And we have to mention the battlefields too, right? I mean, Qui-Gon has the Obi-Wan's hut, and Palpatine has Imperial Palace. In terms of rolling, I think that Qui-Gon Yoda most likely will win the battlefield, and they will probably pick theirs because it benefits them more, I think.
No, so this Palpatine guy is actually running the plot Taking Ground. So if I recall correctly, Sorry, I'm just trying to recall.
Taking Ground.
Yeah, so if I recall correctly, Taking Ground, which I'm double checking here. So Taking Ground allows Palpatine to add 2 additional points to the battlefield choice. So we may be seeing him trying to intentionally keep his battlefield, whereas traditional Palpatine players have tended towards going for either the shield plot or before plots. Nope, they wouldn't. And they would choose your opponents just to get those extra 2 shields, so there's 17 health to start.
Wow, a lot of decisions and a lot of pressure right off the bat in terms of who claims the battlefield, who gets to pick their battlefield, and I think both decks are synergized with it, you know?
Oh, for sure.
And I think they're still setting up. Oh, they're arrived.
There's
Perfect.
the head of the... Oh, and they flip... All right, perfect. So
now we got the right sides.
Yeah, now everything's on the right sides. All right.
It's interesting to notice that Palpatine is running 2 Rens.
Yeah, so
most people only run 1, I think.
So the reason I'm pretty sure he's running the double Rend is exactly for the deck he's facing right now. Because this deck, along with so many other blues, are running double force speed. And that Rend is there to just stop the force speeds in their tracks.
Right.
As well as, because of the number of Sabine Yodas that we've actually seen today, the Rend would have been very useful in that to be stopping running interference, since it's also a 0 cost.
Yeah, that is a very good point you make. A lot of supports and upgrades have been plaguing the tournament lately, and I think 2 copies of Ren might be justified now.
For sure, especially because he's running so few upgrades, he has the space.
Yeah, he does. He has a lot of it. Yeah. He has that ability. It's a very well thought of deck, actually, now that I think about it. It focuses on doing one thing and one thing well, and it leverages everything on it.
For sure. The other thing I'm noticing is we're seeing some cards coming back that we haven't seen much play of in a while. For example, both players are running 2 Mind Tricks, which is a card from Awakenings that really hasn't seen that much play since Awakenings, and now it's come back.
It's true. I mean, people are running like 6, 7 dice into the pool, right? Once you Mind Trick them, they have to make a tough choice.
Exactly.
Definitely a tough choice. I see the people are doing mulligans now.
Yep.
What are you looking for Qui-Gon Yoda in terms of your starting hand?
If it was me, I'd be looking for force speed to put onto Yoda. I'd also be looking for a Shoto lightsaber pull or ancient lightsaber to drop down onto Qui-Gon. That way you have your upgrade for damage as well as all your force speed trickery with Yoda and chaining specials.
Perfect. Yeah, makes sense. What about Palpatine? You think maybe 1 Resilient?
Resilient would be the top card on my mind for Palp. Second one would be an Indomitable. just because he's the best deck for that card. I mean, it is him doing a forced lightning hit inside the visuals. Just it's pay 1, he gets 3 shields. It's an amazing card.
That is true. I'm thinking maybe Sound Alarm for all the melee that Qui-Gon might be able to put out.
So I'm actually surprised to see Sound the Alarm, and then again, he's only running 1 of it, so maybe that's why. Because of the amount of action cheating, you tend not to be able to target people's dice.
Right, not to be able to mitigate. Yeah, that's true.
Now they've rolled off to see whose battlefield wins.
I think it's 3-2, so that's 5, 6, 7 against 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
There you go. Picks Palpatine's.
So he's gone with his battlefield, so that'll be an interesting thing to see how it works. Especially dangerous given he just gave Qui-Gon 2 shields to start.
Yeah,
which means any shield generation is going to do damage.
That's Intimidate
why.
from the get-go.
Yep, there go those shields. That makes the choice all the more reasonable that he went first.
We have to mention that Palpatine's battlefield is the Imperial Palace, which is look at your opponent's hand and discard a card from it, which is good for control, you know?
Yeah, and so Daniel's first play was It Binds All Things, which is a great opening card to see. I missed that in his list. That is something you ideally want to see first.
Ooh, double focus.
Oh,
that is really
double
good.
special on Yoda. That's ideal. However, there was no force speed played, so that means he did not draw it in the opening hand, which makes him less than ideal.
2 discard and then 2 damage.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see where he puts the damage.
Oh.
Wow, so he lost a synchronicity and a lightsaber pull. Those are both 2 really good hits.
Yeah, that's painful.
Both damage on Yoda, which makes some sense because people will tend to target down Qui-Gon and not Yoda, so might as well put the ablative damage there.
It's basically indirect damage. You get to pick where he goes. Yeah.
Yep.
Keep Qui-Gon alive as much as possible.
Yeah. Now I'm curious to see if
He had 2 copies of lightsaber pull. You see that?
Oh, so okay,
Yeah.
so that's a lot better for him then. That's good. Let's see what he grabs. I'm gonna guess Shoto.
Shoto. Yeah.
There's
right
the Shoto.
choice. It's a good.
And he's got the ability to play it. So if Palpatine doesn't interfere, that Shoto's coming on board likely as the next action.
We probably re-roll.
And I like the comment about the weird palp in the comments here. I actually personally find this is the much more efficient way to play palp these days, because you don't need the extra upgrades to get damage. You just want those resilience in order to keep them alive and the dice rolling.
Right. Every Palpatine's dice when it gets resolved is 2 indirect damage.
Yeah.
You can think of it that way.
You're doing minimum 4 damage every turn.
That's right.
Oh, we did a... I don't recall the name of that card.
Alter.
Thank you. So Alter, it's a 2 cost to flip 2 cards, which was an amazing play because it got himself 3 damage and got rid of a focus, forcing him to, a special, forcing him to use the other special to bring it back to get the effects to get back his shields.
And
as
is
well
now
as,
showing 3 range damage now.
Yep. And as well as the other activation off of the Yoda special was to get an extra resource. So he now has the ability, if he had a 3-cost upgrade, to play it. Or 4 costs, in fact, because it binds all things.
So the 2 indirect basically went 1 shield of Qui-Gon and 1 on Yoda.
Yep.
Shoto lightsaber comes down. That's always good.
Yep. Oh, and I am liking that he's forcing down. He's now targeting Yoda, so Yoda's already half dead.
So he claimed because he discarded his last card from his hand.
He got rid of the Rend, which wouldn't have been that strong in this play anyways, but it does reduce the ability to reroll, which is really important to do all the same. Yeah. Now we're back up to the top. They'll gain some resources.
All right, next round.
Yeah.
2 shields on Qui-Gon. That's good.
And Daniel is in a relatively strong position as far as resources go, with those 2 shields and 4 resources himself. However, Jeff's taken no damage as of yet, and Daniel's already taken 6.
It's well, he has enough resources for Obi-Wan's lightsaber.
This is very true.
Right? And I think he drew it. Oh,
and
double
I do see a
blanks.
force speed in his hand and an ancient
I think
for
yeah.
Daniel.
For
So
Daniel,
we'll see those get played likely. Oh, a double blank on Jeff's Palpatine.
yeah. Now, if I'm Dalen, I'm feeling a lot safer because I'm like I can play an upgrade. I can play.
Yeah. He's got
spend
time.
some resources. I got time before I have to deal with Palpatine's die.
There's the obvious force play to Yoda. Even with him at half health, that's still very well worth it, because if Yoda rolls out 1 special,
Chain them.
all 3 of those dice are going special.
Right.
Swiftness.
Swiftness, yes.
So Jeff's playing Swiftness, which means his next card will get Ambush, which, ooh, nice. It'll be use the Force to get to a 3 damage face on Palpatine and then resolve it.
Wow, that is very punishing.
So Yoda's down to 2 health already. So we may
Turn
only
2.
see that Force speed trigger once today.
Or maybe not even triggered. Who knows?
Possibly.
That was a really clever play, I gotta
This
say.
has been a really strong opening for Jeff.
Oh, absolutely.
One.
Oh,
Thank you. Paying 1 for
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Yep, removing a die equal to shields, and it was a blank, so that's 0. That's valid. And the Obi-Wan saber was there.
see, I would have played that. I would have slapped that on.
Removing
Qui-Gon.
that die while he could was too important.
No, instead of the 4 speed, I would have
Oh,
played
instead
that.
of the speed.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I would have played it. Especially because I can always use the support to make it cheaper and still have enough money for removal.
Yep, that is a perfectly logical thought.
See, goes away.
Yep. Hopefully, I'm assuming he's running 2 in that list.
All right.
So
We got
Yoda
it.
comes out with 1 special, which is all he needs. Palpatine currently has no resources and is exhausted, dice used, so chances are he's not going to be doing too much more unless he's got some zero-cost events in hand.
I think he's passing because I didn't see any cards. Oh no, he claimed. Jeff claimed. Yeah.
You're right, he claimed, yeah. All right, so let's see what Daniel can do while he's freewheeling and able to go.
Oh, I see 4 damage showing on Qui-Gon's die.
Yeah.
So 2-1-1. That's good because you can always pressure your opponent there.
Yeah, so one of the comments is talking about the fact that there is no holocron in that Palpatine deck, which is not surprising given he's chosen to minimize his upgrades. The it rise again because when you have almost no upgrades, it's not as great a card. Also, Palpatine tends not to have a lot of resources, so he has a hard time playing that card.
He does.
Yeah.
He has to balance between spending resources to play his events and spending his resources playing upgrades and supports and all that. So it's definitely a careful balance. So when you see that, Yoda uses special to chain specials and change the Shoto to +3, or the Ancient Lightsaber to +3.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage
Wow.
just thrown in his face. We're looking at
4,
5, 6, 8.
8 damage on Palpatine.
Yeah. So he's up to 10 now after 2 earlier.
Wow, he's down to 5. So,
Yeah. That was a big turn
it's
for
tied,
both of them.
yeah. This is exciting. And again, we mentioned no rise again, so every
Yeah.
damage that you do to Palpatine is just one step closer to him just going down.
I'm hoping for Jeff's sake that he managed to draw an Indomitable, just to keep himself in the game.
Yeah. This is basically to the races.
Yep,
Yeah, I would roll in Palpatine.
for sure.
For sure. Anything you
as-
can get right now, it's huge.
That looks like shields
And
and discard.
discards. Yeah.
Those shields would be great as his next activation.
Another one with the Force to just
Finish him off.
show lethal, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the Yoda rolls in while he still has a chance.
Ooh,
Hits 3 specials.
Triple special.
If Jeff can't interfere with this, Daniel's gonna go a little wild here.
You definitely have to try to do something, I think.
For sure. Otherwise, it's Yoda special, 4 speed.
2 more actions.
Roll in and resolve roll and resolve Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, if he shows good. If not, you can still reroll.
Yeah. Actually, in fact, he may even leave the Yodas.
Hey, Force speed.
Nope, that's Force Illusion.
Oh, Force solution, sorry.
Just he wants to keep that Palpatine alive. So I'm assuming here we're going to see an activation of the Force speed so that he can roll in Qui-Gon and see where he has to go next. Oh, my mistake.
He's
Playing an
wow,
heirloom.
heirloom.
Okay, he's going for the throat. He's getting as strong as he can before he does it.
Especially because Jeff didn't mitigate or remove any of Yoda's dice, so chances are he doesn't have any control in his hand.
For sure. There's the Indomitable play. So he's now got 3 shields and a Force Illusion. This puts his health in a lot better place.
That's
Yeah, so there's been commentary about just how amazing the rolls have been. They're not wrong at all. The amount of specials we've already seen from Yoda has been amazing. Oh, he's
Qui-Gon's
chosen.
going in,
He's chosen to roll in Qui-Gon before activating Force Speed.
gaining a shield, doing damage.
Yep, off the Shoto to strip the shield. I'd expect Daniel's next resolution will be specials into 2 extra actions, and then basically resolving all of his dice.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Jeff can do here.
And it's interesting to note that with the Force solution, because Qui-Gon is always pinging you for one, it's very inefficient because you won't see most of the time a bunch of damage all at once.
Sure.
It would just be small amounts of damage over time, and that's deadly when it comes to trying to figure out when to use Force solution.
Which is why I expect we'll see Daniel focus into generating shields as opposed to generating damage.
That's right.
Just so he can do that ping for death. Alright, so I believe we're on Jeff's activation. He's just thinking, trying to decide what his best plan is at this point.
Yeah, I feel Jeff is still doing the right thing by focusing Yoda.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now he's resolved the Palpatine die for 2 shields, which is not entirely efficient as he only gets 1 shield, but it makes sure that he gets some damage in and that die off the table. So it's back to Daniel. We'll see if he does what I expect and start resolving specials. He does.
There we go.
There's the Yoda, so that he will gain a shield, likely, and flip a die. So
I would probably change the heirloom.
he'll be able to do a second time off the other Yoda.
That's true.
So, okay, so, he's going for melee, but all base melee, so that, as you said, Force Solution will not be that efficient.
That's right.
There's the second Yoda, going for the heirloom
for
as you
one.
expected.
There,
Okay.
3.
Yep. And
more
then now the
actions.
speed.
Wow.
So the first is he's activating properly separately. Heirloom does 3, getting rid of the illusion, taking out 3 cards. And then another 3 damage off the Shoto and Qui-Gon's die.
That's 11 damage.
Yep. Now he gains 1 shield and throws 2 shields.
That's 2 more damage.
Yep.
Wow, Palpatine is really close to death.
Yep.
After a very strong start, who would have
sure,
thought?
yeah.
Who would have thought?
That opening volley just bringing Yoda down to 2. Now Palpatine's there with him at 2.
Yeah.
So he discards the reroll, hoping for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I would. You have to try to see if you can get something done on Yoda.
For sure. Now Daniel's out of dice. He still has a lot of cards in hand. It's a question of, does he want to force Jeff to discard?
Yes.
He does.
Yes. Oh, that's huge. I would have played the Force illusion. I mean, the one with the Force.
Well, I'm not sure if he had the resources for it. As he currently doesn't have any resources, he
Oh.
likely did not have the ability to.
Oh,
Wow.
there we go. 3.
There
and-
goes Yoda.
Yeah, there. Okay.
That was a very good reroll off the endurance.
I mean, it's still tough because he is basically 2 points of
for
damage
sure.
away from just dying.
Qui-Gon's got 9 health, 5 dice.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. He needs more of his recursion. You know, the cards that we're talking about, how you bring it back into play after being used or controlled or something.
I feel like if I was Jeff, I'd be looking for 5 0-cost mitigation cards.
Yeah.
Because of that roll that just is about to occur.
Blank. Ooh, does Jeff play the blank card?
Oh, anger? Or feel his anger?
Yeah.
He likely has it, but not
Oh,
in hand.
overconfidence.
Overconfidence. Good choice. Hitting both the base die and the plus. And coming back as a cock die.
That would be good enough.
And the other die fell off the table, so he'll likely reroll both. This is them going to check for cocked and discussing how the cocked will work.
I think they're gonna get a ruling on that.
Yeah, they've in fact now called a judge over in order to deal with it. So again, just as we're looking at this right now, and the judge is being called over, she's currently also running a draft. There are 2 blanks for Qui-Gon, so that really wasn't a great roll to start with.
But feel your anger will be amazing
sure.
here.
Yeah.
Amazing, and it much needed too.
Yes.
Because they saying that we are not, if we don't catch it, the judges don't catch it, it's not spectator. It's not a spectator in the building.
And it's cocked.
Okay, so we'll reroll.
So that'll be rerolled along with the other die. Coming back.
Wow.
Oh, came back worse for Jeff.
But he still got to get rid of the
Overconfidence.
2.
That's
Yeah.
true. So it works out just fine. There's no base damage showing.
So he's definitely gonna have to discard to reroll.
Yep. But it is Daniel's turn now, because Overconfidence does not have ambush. And there's another judge call from the table.
I don't know what the problem is now.
They missed the activation of the Shoto lightsaber. And now they're checking with the judge as to whether or not it's a missed opportunity or if they can correct it. Oh, the face was wrong. Sorry.
It's a little hard to see.
Correction. The reason for the judge call was that the die was knocked, and they are trying to confirm what the face of the die should have been. And we are going to check that through live replay. The commentary is saying +2 on the Shoto. We're still going to check we're still going back and double checking the history.
The Shoto lightsaber
Yes.
was resource side.
before the rolling.
Before he rolled.
This one right here, right? That's a Shoto lightsaber?
Yeah, roll a little bit further back.
Yeah, he rolled and knocked it.
Before the cock die.
Before the cock side? Okay.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Oh,
right
it's
here.
a plus side.
Okay, so
It looks like a +1 to me.
so we've confirmed by going back that the Shoto was a +1. So our judge will be resetting it correctly. By the way, we have a great judge today in Jenna Marion.
For sure, she's amazing.
This is our 8th round today. She's done a great job all day. I've been happy to work with her and support her.
Look at this roll, 3 + 3.
Oh,
I hope he has some mitigation in his hand.
I
or
see a
some-
Force Solution in his hand.
I would play it. If I don't have any mitigation to get rid of that, I would play it.
It's worth ditching those 6 cards to stop that damage.
Yeah.
So the commentary is asking about where Nationals is being held. We are currently in Toronto in the lovely Sheraton Conference Center. It's been a great venue to use.
There we go. Force Solution is down.
Yep. Let's see if Daniel just takes it and mills him for 6.
I would.
Okay, ditch and
he's-
reroll. He rerolled the
Oh.
base. No, he rerolled the plus. Okay.
So it's 3, 4, 5. Oh boy.
As well as a single shield.
Yeah.
So this illusion will stop the 3, but there's still 3 more damage coming, and that will kill Palpatine.
He's only 2 away. Oh, he's
Using Hidden Motive.
hidden motive, and
I'm assuming he called damage, and
there you
goes
go.
the airlock.
Wow, big play.
However, Daniel can still resolve 3 damage here. So that's 2 off the singles.
He has to use a Force Solution on either of them.
He has to use it on one of them, correct,
Yeah, he doesn't.
in
have a
order to
choice.
survive. And there's the Force Illusion for 1.
And then, if he doesn't mitigate that shield, I think that's.
That shield is game unless he can stop it. There's
Oh,
the doubt.
doubt.
However, so many sides are good.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, that is
think.
it for that game.
Yeah, round 1 is done.
And so, guys, we are doing best of 3 since it's top cut. So they're going to reset and get going in just a minute.
We'll see what type of what I like to call halftime adjustments they make. I mean, Jeff did the right thing going after Yoda. I feel
Correct.
It was just that volley in the second turn that just turned the tide.
Exactly, which is why normally people target down Qui-Gon. But once Daniel put that damage on Yoda, Jeff just followed through because he wanted to take out one of the characters.
Yeah, and Daniel is up 1-0 in this best out of 3.
Yeah.
But it's definitely we see the power of Palpatine right here. I mean, despite the fact that he ended up losing this game,
Yeah.
you can see that Palpatine can do a lot of damage real fast.
For sure.
And he has a lot of venues on actually doing that.
So, guys, when we come back, we'll be into the next round.
We're still live. Sorry.
Well, because the screen's up.
That's the previous screen. We're still live.
Okay, cool. All right, so, yep, sorry, guys. Our screen changed, not yours. All right, so it'll be interesting to see if for the second round, assuming Palpatine takes the choice of it, will he want his location or will he want to get
I
the
believe he
shields?
already picked his battlefield. I
Did he
think.
already? Oh, he
Yeah.
did. You are right.
And it kind of makes sense.
No, because we're not at that stage yet. They're just drawing.
Oh, they're just drawing. Okay. But I would still stick with my battlefield, even though I'm giving Qui-Gon 2 shields.
When do you pick your battlefield? Is it after you mulligan?
the mulligan.
Yeah, after Mulligan.
So for anybody watching who may not be entirely aware, the opening structure is you will draw 5, you will mulligan, which is take X number of cards from your hand, put them back in your deck, and then draw back up so that you have 5 cards again. After that point, if it's a single game, you will normally roll all your character dice and count the total values. And then whoever has more gets the choice of going first and using their battlefield, or going second but getting 2 shields they can put anywhere on their characters. Since it's a best of 3, and Jeff lost the first round, he should have choice. I'm curious to see, however, if he changes from last time and chooses to go second to get those extra 2 shields and stop Qui-Gon from starting on them.
Well, he got rid of the initial shields
This is
right
true.
off the bat, right? With I think it was
Intimidate.
Intimidate, yeah.
So if he opens Intimidate, he's chosen his base
you go.
again, so
He's-
maybe he has Intimidate in hand.
there you go. Oh, abandon all hope.
Oh,
All your cards
wow.
are all your resources. That's huge.
Yep.
That is huge.
Let's see what Daniel does. The resources, as expected, just because his hand's gonna be.
Oh,
and
force speed.
His hand's too powerful with that force speed in there. He didn't need the resources. Yoda, when he rolls out Yoda, he can get back the resources to play upgrades.
Two
Mill.
discard and resource. Not ideal. Not what you want to see.
The mill is not bad either, because he's still gonna hit Daniel's hand, hoping to get upgrades.
We see a special and 2 shields.
Yep. There's the
Oh,
Rend.
there's a Rend.
Very nice.
Very good.
So that's 1 force speed down. That was a great play with that Rend. So
Chaining. Yeah.
Yep, chains. So he's gotten a resource and a flip. Then he went for a resource and a damage.
And damage.
Oh, sorry, I should explain. The reason that damage keeps occurring, as people may not be aware, it is not normally part of Yoda's effect. What he's doing is gaining his shield, but when he gives it to Qui-Gon, he's using it to throw instead to do the damage to Palpatine, in case anyone's curious.
It's interesting. He missed. He discarded 2 of Daniel's hand. He missed a
Lightsaber pull.
Lightsaber pull, and his other hand is a heirloom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he just missed.
What did he hit?
He hit a Rend, and it binds all things.
The It Binds was an important hit. The Rend in this game, not that matter.
It was, but at the end of the day, you wanna see those cards, and I'd rather see that Shoto or the Lightsaber pull in the discard pile.
For sure. Now, we've seen Palpatine's dice have both been resolved. The damage went into... the damage indirect went into the 2 shields on Qui-Gon, as well as, again, 2 into Yoda.
Oh.
We had a high ground play, since Jeff is in control of the base, which meant, as you can see from the card on the screen, he could get rid of dice. Yeah.
Ooh, I would get rid of.
Here, I'd get rid of Hidden Motive.
Yeah, I would, because that would. I mean.
And there it
that would
goes.
still get- yeah, here it goes.
Such a powerful card to come in that rival starter.
It is. It is.
All right, we're back up to the top of the next round. Damage is looking similar to the way it did last time, although Qui-Gon's taken a bit.
I feel your anger in Jeff's open hand. So
Nice.
if we see any blanks, I wouldn't hesitate to use them.
For sure. However, Yoda has no blanks, so we
Yeah.
won't get any yet.
We have to wait until Qui-Gon
But
rolls in.
that is arguably some of the worst sides for Yoda at 2 single shields. Yes, it's good for Qui-Gon, however, it's not what you want to see on Yoda.
2 shields on and a resource for Palpatine. Oh, he discards
reasonable.
Obi-Wan's.
He likely has a second in hand. There's a special and a mill. The mill is mediocre, but that special is all he needed.
That's where aiming for.
In fact, I really
Discarding to reroll.
discarded the high ground. However, he's not in control.
Blank and 2 discard.
The 2 discards were reasonable, the rest not so much. So a special and a resource. There goes the special for likely a resource and a shield. There's the shield.
Do you hold out for Qui-Gon to roll in, especially knowing you have Feel Your Anger?
At this point, there is no target for that Feel Your Anger. He's likely to reroll or
Oh,
just resolve the
there you
mill.
go.
Because of the number of resources Daniel has, he's concerned there's a second Obi-Wan in his hand. And he hit it.
Oh, there we go.
There go, and a
And
synchronicity.
wow.
Those were 2 really good hits.
I think those were the best cards he could have plucked out of
For
Daniel's
sure.
hand.
And there's the indirect damage coming in from Palpatine. Went entirely into Yoda because he needed to keep that shield on Qui-Gon.
I believe Daniel has a Ren in his hand, which is a dead card,
Very dead.
all things considered.
So Qui-Gon came in with a single shield, and a resource. Not unreasonable, however, that resource is not relevant to him.
Hey man, when it comes to Qui-Gon, even the...
Oh.
That's nice. That's
So
a
it-
3 range damage.
Discard of, I believe, a Swiftness, which is a card that's very situational, to get 3 damage face. So that die is functionally doing 5 damage if you can resolve it.
And we all know he's going towards Yoda.
Yep. Well, here comes the shields, likely for defense in this case.
Yeah, to mitigate the 2 indirect that Palpatine does to you. There we go,
And to
6.
basically convince Jeff to put the base 3 into Yoda.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's claiming because he's...
Yep.
I would get rid of Feel Your Anger.
At this point, I actually would likely agree. Oh, the doubt
Oh,
went.
the doubt.
Interesting. I mean, all 3 are very good cards. That's
Well, considering he discarded the last round, the red card, the one that you can call the side and remove the die.
oh, hidden motive.
Hidden
yeah.
motive. I'm surprised he didn't do it again.
This is true. Although the doubt was there from the previous round, I believe. So I guess he was just clearing house. There's a
lightsaber
lightsaber
pull.
pull. Oh wow! So we're gonna have 2 Shotos on Qui-Gon. That's just gonna be damage. So we've had a comment saying Feel Your Anger is useless versus Yoda. However, based on the way Daniel plays and the number of upgrades he puts on Qui-Gon, you can end up with still quite a number of blanks for that Feel Your Anger to hit.
3 ranged and a
Oh.
blank. And here comes the control.
Yep, and there's the overconfidence play. It'll get rid of one of those dice. We have a 3.
He got rid of that.
He does keep the 3 damage.
I
However.
would trigger that right now. That kills Yoda.
It depends. If he has an endurance in hand, I would use the endurance. I'm assuming he does not, so there goes Yoda's dead, and Qui-Gon will take 2 damage because of the indirect.
This looks a lot better than last game.
Yes, Jeff is looking more consistently better here, given given the point at which we're in the game. So this double Shoto is likely to put 1 shield on.
Oh, 3.
Oh, I missed an Indomitable play there. So he activates. He's going to get 2 Shoto triggers. It'll be interesting to see if he does it to gain shields.
There you go. See? 2 blanks.
Exactly.
Feel Your Anger incoming.
Yeah, so Ledin and your comment about Feel Your Anger being useless, there's a really good target for it. He gains the shields off Shoto. He does not risk removing shields from Palpatine at this point.
There you go.
Feel Your Anger.
Big plays.
I'm expecting both Qui-Gon dice to be removed.
I would remove the Shotos. I mean, oh.
One
and
Qui-Gon. He removed the non-blanks. That's fair. That's unfortunate for Daniel, but, you know.
I mean, if I was Palpatine, I'll do the same.
Yeah. A reroll, ditching Synchronicity since he has not had targets for it yet.
Better than blanks.
And there's a Force Illusion.
Oh, illusion, sorry.
Wow, so Palpatine is really stacked up defensively right now. He's sitting at 17 functional health plus Force Illusion. Daniel has a lot of work to get through this.
And he will,
Yep.
ping you for 1 here, ping you for 1 there.
Oh yeah, so he's thrown 1 shield at him. And
he
there's
claims.
the claim. We have an illusion and an overconfidence. He gets rid of the illusion. That's fair.
Now, knowing that he has a overconfidence in hand, you might want to proactively discard to see if you can get your recursion.
For sure.
Right.
Because that overconfidence will remove one of his dice otherwise.
That's right.
What do we... Can we see anything that... I believe that's a resilient, actually, in the front of his hand. Oh, I'm mistaken.
Wow.
3 damage
that's
and a
not bad.
1. So here should come the overconfidence. Yep, paying 1. There's the overconfidence.
There it is.
Rerolls. Hopefully, he still maintained a 3 damage. So that did...
Do you
Jeff
resolve
is
it,
okay.
or you play...
If he has the endurance, I would play that. Otherwise, I would resolve that die.
You do leave yourself open to...
There's the endurance. He rolls the die back in.
Perfect. And it's...
2 shields. That'll work great as a follow-up to once Qui-Gon does something. Alright, so it's Daniel's go. Let's see what he does.
Qui-Gon activating would effectively remove the shields off. I think that was...
That was unbreakable.
Unbreakable. So he's removing a die that has the same value or less than the number of shields. However, that is still good for Jeff as he's forced Daniel to have to play multiple cards to get rid of 1 die.
That's right.
So that's 5 damage into Qui-Gon due to the special, not the special, but the effect of
The
Palpatine.
ability of Palpatine. Hey, look, an ancient lightsaber goes in. Oh, sorry,
Heirloom. He has the resources, makes perfect sense. This is going to be a lot of potential damage from Daniel. I'm assuming Jeff will just pass until he can use up the counters in his hand.
I think we have 3 damage showing, 2 resources, and a blank.
I'm curious what the Shotos will do, if he remembers to trigger them.
Yep, he does.
He'll take 2 shields for safety. So the Heirloom's on its lowest damage face. We've got a +2 from the Shoto, and then looks like 2 resource faces. A hidden motive on the Shoto, calling
And,
damage. Gets rid of it. Nice.
Discard to reroll.
No, that's a trigger.
Trust your instincts.
It's Trust Your Instincts. That way he can then draw a replacement card.
Oh, it's 0 cost.
Yeah. It's a card that I both love and hate in most decks. There's the claim.
Mind trick, right?
I would take the
well,
Mind Trick. At this point, the Binds All Things is irrelevant. He's got 3 upgrades already.
That's true.
There it goes. Because the Mind Trick gets rid of 1 of your Palpatine dice. You're paying 2 resources. He's paying 2 resources to do it, but still worth it.
And at this point, you can just override the upgrades, right?
For sure.
So, economy is not an issue.
There was a reroll into what looks like 5 damage. Plus he's throwing a shield for 6.
Yeah, there we go. Palpatine It's 5 damage.
However, Jeff is still in a much stronger position right now.
Yeah,
they
it's
both-
5 to 5. Yeah.
I'm slightly amused that Jeff almost has enough resources to trigger a Rise Again that he's not playing. Palpatine should not have 4 resources.
That is very true.
And I believe there's an Indomitable in his hand again.
That is great.
Double
Ooh,
blank?
Double blanks.
Oh, that is really unfortunate for Jeff. This will give Daniel a chance to catch up.
Now he can take things slowly, knowing there's no pressure coming from
For sure.
Palpatine right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It just so
Try and
put something else up. Talk closer.
The microphone's really sensitive, so you don't need to talk right now. Sorry.
So we see here that.
All right. So guys, if we sound a bit more quiet, we've been informed that our voices are carrying more than expected. So we are going to quiet ourselves down a bit in order to not be heard by the table. Oh, wow. An altar to spin both dice to 3 damage. This might be game here.
6, 7, 8.
Yep, that is
Oh,
game.
There is game. Wow.
So we're going into game 3 with a 1-1 score.
This is a close game, man.
Yeah.
This is very close. I like it.
I still, as I said at the top, just love seeing Palpatine and making it to top 8. It's one of my preferred decks. I've played it since it was available. Although that being said, Yoda Qui-Gon's the only thing I've been playing since I picked up Yoda's.
I feel like Palpatine deck is very well built. I mean,
For sure.
It focuses on just controlling your opponent's dice to the point that Palpatine could just shine, you know. And as we've seen here, the amount of output damage that Palpatine can put out is ridiculous.
For sure. Yeah, no, and it's just nice to see that he's proving that you can play a deck with almost no upgrades.
Yeah.
I mean, his only upgrades are the Force Illusion and the
Illusions.
Resilient. And we haven't even seen Resilient come out yet.
No, not yet. And that's not a target for Ren.
Nope.
So
He has no targets for Rend.
yeah. That card's for rerolls.
I am also glad to see that, I mean, I've tried the deck that Jeff is playing. I initially tried it with the Resilient build, and then for a bit of extra damage, I was using Kylo Starfighter. I'm glad he's not, because that test worked very poorly. Primarily because the Kylo Starfighter became the target for all the mitigation, as you couldn't mitigate the Palpatine dice due to the resilience.
Correct, because it will come back.
Yeah.
If you were Daniel, would you stick with the battlefield they're currently playing at, or would you choose yours?
He wants those shields in opening on Qui-Gon.
But we've seen many times how easy it is for, Jeff to just get rid of those shields.
The other thing is, I don't think he wants to give Jeff 2 more health to start.
But are you going to give your opponent the chance to have knowledge of your hand and discard your best card?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Daniel has been claiming more than Jeff, in spite of the difference in number of characters.
But
So
when,
it still may not be that bad. However,
whenever
if
Jeff
you
does
prefer-
claim, we have seen Mind Trick.
Oh, for sure. That it's been so painful, Daniel.
It's hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt a lot.
And Jeff doesn't care if he gets his hand milled, as most of his cards do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
It will be an interesting. It will definitely be one of those important decisions
sure.
in this last match.
Especially as this will be the first time Daniel gets to choose.
That's right. Hasn't been able to pick yet.
Nope.
Let's see what he. Okay.
He went for
He
shields.
sticks. Yeah, he sticks to the shields.
In the
There
opening
you go.
intimidate.
See.
Apparently Daniel was unlucky there.
Intimidate, doing work.
1 resource into it binds all things. Okay, so
Oh,
Daniel
early
had-
on.
Yeah,
Important.
it's what you want to see in opening. Here comes Palp.
3 in the blank.
One of those is
3.
good. Oh wow! So Daniel had a good opening hand.
Shoto comes down.
Yep. We also gained knowledge that there's at least one of his ancients is not in hand, as we saw it when he pulled the Shoto.
Would you resolve the 3 ranged already right now? Knowing that he's going to probably trigger...
Nope, he's doing an altar to see if he can max out his damage.
No, it's a use the force.
Or use the Force, my mistake. Hopefully this
doesn't have
doesn't
enough
backfire,
money.
because if Daniel happens to have a Mind Trick or a Overconfidence...
He doesn't have money, though, because he used it for...
He still has 1
buying-
money?
But Mind Trick is 2.
True, but he can Overconfidence for 1. That's what I was going to say. If he has these cards, he could potentially screw with this. The overconfidence
I
would
don't
be very
think he has
painful
it.
here. Nope, a second pull. Okay.
Okay, so we know he doesn't have that.
Nope, and that means Jeff's about to do 10 damage. Oh, second Shoto. Nice. All right, let's see if... I'm assuming Jeff will do 10 damage here. So there's been a comment questioning why Jeff wasn't using Obi-Wan's hut, as that's been a very... Oh, sorry, because Obi-Wan's hut was put down. Jeff likely did not choose that as the battlefield because he wanted to make sure Qui-Gon was minimized on his shield generation. Also, just the sheer power of the Imperial Palace that Jeff has been using to remove cards Daniel needs, especially as when Daniel's been claiming,
Yoda
it doesn't take much from his hand as it's all mitigation cards, so he just loses a mitigation card. Whoop-dee.
Pretty brutal.
Yoda at 7 damage.
Yeah.
He's 3 ranged damage away from.
Yep. There's a Force Illusion just for safety, even though he's in a good enough position to probably not even need it. Yoda came up on Disrupt and Shields,
Shield.
so that Disrupt face is, from me, the worst side. That the Shield being the second worst.
Shield +2.
Yep.
He's gonna have to discard to reroll. You want to definitely want to.
I believe Jeff at this point is just passing until
He's discarding a mind trick.
he doesn't have the resources, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
well, Yoda came up with 2 focus. That's good enough.
That's solid.
He can hit himself a special and get something better on a Qui-Gon.
Right now, if I don't have the
There's the
control,
special.
I would probably claim because I know in his hand there's another Shoto. Discard it.
That's very fair. However, I'm expecting he has at least one more control piece, and he was waiting for what just happened.
That cost 0.
There
we
it
go.
is. That was a sound the alarm,
Yeah.
making him reroll 2 of his dice. That came up.
We know Yoda's gonna fix it again.
Yep. However, the Force Shield sitting on Qui-Gon does mean he can do two individual damage and gain 2 shields on Qui-Gon to keep him alive.
Well, Yoda will give you another one, so
That's true.
and +1. I mean the 1 melee on.
Yep. There's the special. He's gaining a resource and likely a shield. There's the shield.
Now I would claim.
Yep.
Shoto,
there's the
bye-bye.
claim. Shoto, and it is a Force Illusion. These are both very strong cards. I'm curious to see which one he chooses. I do agree with you. I would hit the Shoto,
yeah.
but that Force Illusion still does a lot of work, especially against Palpatine and those 3 sides.
But that will only matter. Well, you're focusing on.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And there goes the illusion.
He thinks he can deal with the Shoto better than he can
I'm
deal
expecting
with the Force Illusion.
I'm expecting he was concerned the illusion would keep Yoda alive. And Qui-Gon shields are being used to
And
safety
deal 1
Yoda.
damage to Palpatine and another one to Palpatine. There we go. I mean, this is early on, and Yoda is almost.
We're back to the way it was in Game 1, where Yoda's almost dead. However, that's how we were in Game 1, and Jeff did lose that, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here's
Daniel
the
definitely
roll-in.
came back.
Wow! 3 damage and a 2 damage, I believe?
Yeah.
So that's 9 damage facing Daniel right now. Hidden motive, I expect for damage.
He gets shields.
And he rolled shields, so he's keeping that die still.
Does he have the little combo in which he fixes his die?
Even if he doesn't, this is still 6 damage.
It is.
And 2 shields to safety himself.
I would trigger the 2. Yeah.
Yep, there's getting rid of 2 shields off Yoda, and then the 2 indirect will take the other 2 shields.
Wow. Those shields don't last very long.
No. There's the second Shoto, as we expected since it was left behind.
Discard to reroll maybe. Try to
We
go
are
for the
actually
win.
on Daniel's activation at this point.
No, because he played the Shoto.
Oh, you're right, my mistake. No, see, there's the Yoda, yeah.
Oh.
Because it was Shoto, then Resolve Die, then.
Oh, okay, of course.
Yoda comes in as special on Mill. And he's played an altar that we just...
Oh, that is big.
I'm not sure where the altar card is, as I did not see it hit the discard.
He still has 2 resources and a hand, so I'm guessing he must have some sort of mitigation.
Maybe.
Because if he doesn't, this is looking grim for Yoda.
Oh, for sure. This will kill Yoda. There's the Mill,
There's
just trying
the
to hit
Mill.
something. Because he's just trying to resolve that die before Yoda dies.
We cannot see what he
Yeah,
discarded.
there's been a couple cards. Yeah, thanks. We have someone going over to the table to get the discard pile of Jeff's into frame, as we're not seeing the cards coming out.
Yoda says bye-bye.
Yep.
and it's looking.
Oh, actually, this is pretty good. There's now an ancient
Ancient
lightsaber.
lightsaber.
He's going to stay alive a lot better. Oh, and so
Oh, mind trick.
yeah.
That's a good pull.
All right. So so we still haven't had Qui-Gon activate. There's the Qui-Gon
There it
now.
is. 2 shields maybe. He's a
So
5 damage.
That's
so
a lot of blanks to see.
Fear your anger. Oh no, he
No,
doesn't
he
have
has no
any
resources. So Daniel's safe from that at this moment. So he's using the Shoto to gain 2 shields, I believe, or no, to gain 1 and do 1 damage off of the shield throw. So Qui-Gon's got 8 health. Ooh,
Hidden motive.
on the ancient lightsaber. Interesting.
Nope.
Goes to a
he
resource.
whips.
I mean, that makes some sense, as it has less damage faces than Qui-Gon would. However, if it had hit +3, that would have backfired really badly. There's a reroll using the Ren that's fairly useless.
Ooh, +3. There
Yep.
you go.
No, that's a +2 because of
Oh,
the
he
Shoto.
claims. He claims and gets rid of Obi-Wan.
Oh, wow. But,
Is that the first or the second Obi-Wan?
First one.
Okay.
however, that's still a lot of damage coming through from Daniel into Jeff's Palpatine.
Oh, I would have popped.
There's 2 sets of 3 damage. He could pop it at either
Oh,
sequence.
no.
However, he's taking all of the
He's
damage.
taking all of it.
I'm expecting it's because he thinks he can take more out with the illusion later.
Oh, I don't know. I would have.
I agree.
I would have popped it. I mean, 3 damage is 3 damage. Now he's down to 5.
For sure.
Qui-Gon can easily do 5.
For sure. However, it may be that he doesn't want to see that +3 off the Ancient with a base of 2 off of Qui-Gon. That may be his
I see what
concern.
you're saying.
However, I do agree. I would have mitigated what I could.
Feel your anger and doubt on Jeff's hand.
Really?
Yeah, those are. Oh my. He's rolling.
That's a 2 and a
really
3
well.
again.
He's rolling really well.
If Daniel can't mitigate this, he may be out of luck. There's the
There is the
overconfidence.
overconfidence. Does he have a?
We have a 3 advantage still and something with glare. It was
it's
a
a
2
2
shield, so it's gone. There is an endurance.
There's an endurance. Oh my God, the plays. The plays.
And
Oh, it's a blank.
That's fine. It's still on the board. He
Yeah,
can
it is.
reroll it. I'm expecting he'll resolve that 3 just to make sure, or at least I would. We'll see if he does.
Qui-Gon activates.
Yeah. Since the endurance was Jeff's last play,
That's not what you want to see.
it's not horrible, but it's not great. Let's see what he does with the Shotos. He throws 2 damage at the Shotos.
Oh, this could be lethal if he claims the shields. Because it's 3 shields, unless he pops the Force Illusion.
He would only throw 2 damage, so it'd be 14.
No, because he already has a shield.
Yes, but the 2 off of Qui-Gon, he could only throw 1 of them because it's a single resolution.
Oh, I see what you mean. I would resolve the 3. Get rid of Qui-Gon's shields.
For sure. Make it
Mitigate,
even harder
yeah.
to push. He's probably thinking about that Feel Your Anger in his hand, if it's worth using.
This is close. This is really, really close, guys.
Yeah.
So
He also have the Doubt he could play if he wanted to negate. Looks like he has a Rend, which doesn't have much relevance right now.
nail biter, man.
Yeah.
I would resolve the 3. Do the damage while you can.
sure. It's 5
eliminate those
damage going
shields.
in.
We all know that, Wait, does Daniel have synchronicity? The one that if you're throwing melee
Oh, wow.
and because if
If he does,
you do,
this-
it's
he does. Okay,
It's
we've
unblockable,
confirmed there's a
but-
synchronicity in his hand, so we'll see if that's what his next play is. But the 3 damage was resolved as you expected, which puts Qui-Gon at, and there's synchronicity.
He has another one too. I think this is over.
So synchronicity is such a powerful card with Qui-Gon,
He has another one.
and
he needs
Force
to do
Illusion can't
something.
block it. Jeff is in a bad situation here because of that choice earlier with the Force Illusion.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can,
I would have used the Force Illusion before for the 3 damage.
for sure,
100%.
because that came up, for sure.
Because now if he gains shields, it's over.
They're now discussing how the shield mechanic works for Qui-Gon, as Jeff is wanting to confirm if he's going to take damage in the next trigger.
This is rough. If the Palpatine die hadn't been anything but a blank,
He'd be fine.
anything,
He would win.
He would have. Yeah, he would have
Yeah.
won. What to do? What to do?
Qui-Gon's at 2 HP and Palp's at 1, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Crazy.
Oh, he's re-rolling.
He rerolls
I think that's it.
because he doesn't know the synchronicity is there.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Because he
game.
could have Force Illusioned the block.
That's game.
Yep.
Wow, so close. So close.
Wow.
I would have popped that Force Illusion. I think that was the critical
That was the
game
change.
mistake. Yeah, game mistake.
I understand why he didn't, but that that
three.
huge thing was that issue.
It's three. It's three.
All right, guys. So I believe we are going to cut out for a bit. We'll be back with one of the games from the top four. Thank you so much for watching. We are at the 2018 Canadian Nationals. Going in. All right, guys, we're back with round two. With
Semifinal.
the semifinals. Thank you. It's been a long weekend, guys. All right, so we've got John running Sister OTK, and Phil running the newer version of Emo Kids.
Yeah, exactly. Elite Kylo and Elite Anakin. There's the handshake. So John Gabale has pretty much a straightforward Seven Sister OTK, except with the small change that he's running more blue characters. Usually you see the rainbow with the yellow one, but in this time he's using the Night Sister because he can always deal the damage to her, reroll any of the dice of his turn.
He's looking for that consistency over
Correct.
over just getting pure burst.
Whereas Philippe King is doing E Kylo, E Anakin. Now this matchup is going to be a little rough because knowing Philippe, he's probably going to call blue all the time.
For sure.
Considering that most of Gobel's deck is consistent of blue cards, right?
And especially once John's played cards like Leadership and Best Defense, which Philippe will know are there because those are standards when you're running red, especially in the OTK. Once those are gone, what other red would there be for him to bother calling?
Yeah, and also something to consider is you almost never call neutral because guess what? 2 doubts. That's
Yeah.
it.
Although-
I'm gonna be hearing a lot of blue.
Yeah. Well, we'll be assuming anyways, as we can't
Oh, right.
physically hear them.
Correct. Whereas
But yeah, let's look at Philippe's deck then.
2 ancient lightsabers, 2 cross guards. That's pretty standard.
Yeah,
2 force solutions, 4 speeds.
I like seeing the Feel Your Anger. It's always fun.
It's
The one Frighten's kind of interesting, given that I don't see any Intimidates. So I guess he probably tech that, assuming Qui-Gon.
well, we have to consider the other matchup is a mirror Qui-Gon Yoda matchup. So he picked a good card.
For sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, most of the rest of it's fairly standard. You've got a lot of things that'll give you special options or just lots of burst damage. And the Close Quarter Assault, which is meant for this matchup, so that he can get rid of those cards like Leadership and Best Defense from John's hand.
So we got the rolls. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 4. So Gobel gets to pick the battlefield. This will be an interesting choice.
Yep. Will he take Fortinaxis to get Guardian to keep himself alive?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he will.
He does. He does. 2 shields on Kylo, so we know who Philippe wants to protect.
Well, Kylo is the stronger of those two, for sure, by far.
Yeah, because Kylo can still stand his own by himself, whereas Anakin by himself is not as strong, right?
Yep. And Kylo, just that activation damage is amazing.
It's almost guaranteed 2 damage.
Opening with an Aftermath from John, which I view as a stall, just to see what Philip does. And he opens that It Binds All Things, which is a great opening card.
That most likely that means he probably has an upgrade
For
in his
sure.
hand, right? So knowing that, you have to adjust accordingly.
Yeah. There's a lightsaber pull, so John's still playing it slow.
That'll be interesting. What is he looking for? Probably
I'm going to assume
Ancient,
Ancient.
right?
Yep.
yeah, ancient.
I don't recall him running any other direct weapons.
And he wants to heal the damage that Kylo will definitely do on the sister.
For sure. Keep the sister alive as long as he can. And there's the Kylo trigger. Although he hasn't activated them yet. Oh, no.
Oh.
So, for whatever reason, John has put his cards face down on the table. As
He
if
was
we're-
expecting Kylo to activate,
That's
probably.
fair. Oh,
1 damage because of
the crossguard.
the crossguard.
The funny thing is, John's reaction made me feel like I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! For a moment, as there tends to be 2 rows where the back is face down. Not that most of our viewers will recognize what I'm talking about, but I play a lot of card games.
Yeah, there's the ancient lightsaber.
Yep, pretty much as
That's
expected.
one less blue card in his hand.
For sure. However, with only... Well, there's some red. There's the Kylo activation.
And I'm pretty sure he gets blue. Oh, that,
The Maul
yeah.
Saber, which is
There you
also
go.
really important information to know that Saber's there.
Yes, because of the shields, right?
Yeah. Well, as well as just knowing that damage potential exists.
And you want to try to mitigate damage so it's not the shields.
There's Night Sister with a Fortinaxis Guardian drag of one of Kylo's dice.
It's good. That's mitigation on demand.
Yeah. Anakin comes in on a shield and a resource.
That's an interesting roll.
There's Sienna doing
Oh.
another drag, just trying to keep Sister
Wow,
alive.
That's clever. It's just mitigation.
Now, for those who can't see through the glare, Sienna came up as a 1 disrupt. So that's probably not going to be a great side for John.
Well, I mean, John probably doesn't really care what Sienna rolls.
That's fair.
Most of the time, it's all about the Seven Sister.
But it's the fact that two sides get you that resources, so you can play them all, save them more easily, or just get more advantage going. Right? That's why you, in my view, you choose Sienna over Newt. Because they both fit the same space.
That's a smart deck building choice.
I also personally will be honest, and I use Newt because I like the annoyance of his effect.
So blank and a 2 with a pay cost. So right now, Gobilla is probably feeling safe.
But the important thing here too is he discarded a close quarter assault in order to do that. That is a strong card against the OTK deck. For him to discard that makes me wonder.
He was
if
probably banking on.
Banking on just damage. Yeah.
He wants to end this as fast as possible because he knows once the sister goes rolling, it's dirty.
Yeah. Although John not getting any droids to start does hurt a little bit.
That is true. We see that's
It's not bad. He's got the focus. He can get to it. Oh, wow. He just discarded the second close quarter assault. So that's out of the game.
Oh, the maul.
Oh, sorry. He activated the close quarter assault. My bad. But hitting that maul is huge.
It's huge.
There's the reroll with the free cost card, which will allow him to draw a replacement. Thank you for the Trust Your Instincts.
I'll go get it out now.
All right. Oh, the Seven Sister coming back blank. That was not a great roll for him.
Yeah. You don't want to see that.
No. Let's see what Philippe does. He's got.
What can Philippe do in this situation? He has
Oh,
one
I
card
guess
in hand,
Philippe passed and allowed John to resolve. Unless I missed something.
They were just noting how Gobel picked a resource. So he's going to activate the sisters to reroll.
Yep,
her
taking
ability.
the damage for sure. For a shield. It's not really what he wants to see. And I believe Philip just passed again.
Most likely has some sort of mitigation. He's just waiting for the right opportunity to use it.
For sure. Oh, and John just showed us he has a best defense in hand.
I don't think you want to use...
It's not worth it yet.
Yeah, I would just...
Also, if he does have the resource to be shield ships. There's the damage on Night Sister. He's just pushing.
He gets a disrupt, which in this case won't do much.
Night Sister may die very quick in this game.
Yeah.
There's another resource gain.
I'm thinking he's getting a lot of resources because he's hoping to draw into Rise Again.
Or
Because he does
for
play
sure.
2 copies of that.
There's the hidden motive.
Hidden motive,
That was the
there we
card
go.
that was left. Comes
And
back
it's
blank. That paid out big time.
That's-
Well, reasonably well. At least it came up blank. If it had come up that damage, it would have been gone.
Yeah, that's right. So it's prone for re-rolling, but he gets rid
discarding
of
the
it.
best defense. He just wants to push. Comes back a blank and a resource.
Blank in the resource. He claims.
Yep. Philip claims, so there's Fort Naxos basically out of the game for the moment.
So
for
he's
John.
aiming for Anakin. That's interesting.
Well, he's assuming he can still burst damage enough to take Kylo down or almost entirely in one shot. So why not put the small damage on Anakin?
On the supporting character first.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because this OTK deck should be able to kill any character in one shot. If he gets the cards he needs.
If the proper cards. If the combo hits,
Yeah.
it's devastating.
Well, I mean, there was a version of this deck that was listed online at one point that could do 100 damage. There was a trigger of Kylo. Oop, an accident. And he hit, I believe, the Enrage.
Yeah, there's
So
2
there's damage.
That's Night Sister's half health.
Yeah. You mean 7th?
Oh yeah, 7 Sisters half health.
I mean, 9th is, or sorry, Night is
Force
almost.
Illusion.
Yep. Although it feels like it might have been just slightly late there. But that is the
Just
nature
a
of the
little.
game, given that Philippe did claim.
Well, Philippe is showing 4, yeah. So I would trigger.
He pays the 1 to trigger the full damage, straight into 7th Sister. There goes the illusion. What do we hit?
Boundless Ambition, Price of Failure,
Oh, a droid.
and a droid.
The
Wow.
droid is the biggest hit there. That's gonna hurt.
And a probe too.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the probe is probably the least important of that.
Well, you get to pick at your opponent's hand, and if it's 2 events,
For
you
sure.
get information and you get to discard them.
For sure. I just feel like those other 3 cards were much more important to his win con.
Absolutely.
It looks like he's trying to decide if he plays another Aftermath. Nope. Roll the sister.
Disrupt.
Yep. There's a force speed. So Philippe's getting more specials on the table. There's the disrupt from the Night Sister in order to get rid of a resource, because why not?
That's a good roll for Anakin. It's 2.
Yep. 2 with a focus and resource, that's pretty good. So the special on the force speed's probably not that big a deal right now.
Well, you can use the focus to change
Exactly,
Kylo's
get that
dice
bigger
to,
damage. So Night Sister taking damage to reroll the focus because he's concerned about what it could do. Coming back special, it's still reasonably good. There's the
2
special.
actions.
Yep. What's his first?
Enrage.
Okay, he wants that resource. So he can resolve a 2 damage.
7 damage.
Yeah, Night Sister's going down pretty quick. There's the probe. Force illusion and the field. So field's gone, and he now knows there's a force illusion available.
Which Philip will not use right now. He feels comfortable. None of his characters except Anakin have taken any real damage.
Correct. It would just be taking up space. Alright, here comes 7.
That's not the optimal role for Gobel.
He played an overconfidence on the droid himself. The droid.
The droid's at 1 right now, so
Yep.
it's a tie. He gets a pick.
Yep. Should we?
He did pick the droid. He removed it. We see
Okay,
a
he's
rise,
just keeping it lower. Sorry.
we see a rise again in Gobel's hand. So if he gets enough resources, he could get back. He could get back in this game.
And he's got 2 resources facing there. He's got 4 on the table, so he can get there. There was no binds all things to get a free force solution, just so he can draw.
And the rise again would allow him to play them all
For
from
sure.
his skill discard pile.
It
That's
would bring
huge.
him way back into the
Yeah.
game if he can do it. There's the enrage. Now he's got the resources. I'm hoping Philippe sees this coming.
He has to. He has 5 years. There we go.
There's the rise again. All
Oh,
right.
he claimed.
And there's the Maul
There's the
Saber.
Maul.
So John's back in this.
Now, unfortunately,
He's already rolled out.
Kylo has 2 shields, so unless those shields go out, he won't be able to activate the power action on the lightsaber.
Yep. There's a discard for reroll. I'm betting he's trying to get to exactly what you're talking about. I also like that they're both using the 2017 Nationals mats.
That's a 2 range. That's really good.
For sure.
It's
no,
a
it's a
plus
plus 2.
2.
On Sienna, it's always a plus 2. So he hasn't gotten the damage he needs. And I do not believe he has any cards left in hand.
Night Sister. I would take the damage on the Night Sister.
Yeah, I agree.
Just try to get that.
Reroll the
going.
disrupt face at the very least.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, there is resources he could disrupt if he wanted to, though. Oh, he
he's
gets a
taking
shield. Now he gets the shield to then spend the shield on the reroll of Night Sister. That's a great plan.
Oh,
And he got the
that
damage
is
he needed.
good.
There go the
There you go.
shields.
Maul.
And here comes the maul. But only 2 sides of that maul matter. The rest are all pluses. He hit a plus, so he's not going to be able to do much with that this round.
Do you keep pushing it? No.
No.
Okay.
There's nothing left to push with. Unless he really wanted to reroll the Sienna and do more damage to Night Sister. So we're back to the top.
I feel like despite the massive advantage that I would probably give Philippe right now, I feel like Cobel's not in a bad spot.
No, he's still in a reasonable spot for sure. Night Sister's a little more injured than I'd want at this point in my game,
Yeah.
but that's the nature of.
So blank, 1 and a disrupt.
Yeah, here comes the Kylo's the
Blue.
activation special.
And yeah, he
Hits
hits
a
it.
second. Well,
Oh, he wants to get rid of
yeah, get
because
rid
the
of the
price
rerolls.
of failure and stuff like that, right?
The rerolls too, and he's so close to dead. That price of failure, like you mentioned, gets
Yeah.
him so much.
And both characters playing John's character.
Okay, so just as a commentary, in case people are curious, Philippe is actually staying at John's place. So I'm wondering if John has made any comments to him as to whether or not, as to what happens if Philippe beats him, because that would be really funny, and I would at least make those jokingly. Also, on top of that, Philippe actually borrowed some of the cards he's using in order to play today from John. So John may lose to his own cards.
Ooh, doubt.
Doubt on them all Saber. That's a really good play, because most of the faces are pluses.
But now he can use the power action to bring it
This
back
is
in.
true. Yeah, but that's fine. He's made him use up the power action.
That's right. Is there more mitigation in his?
Yep,
Yeah,
overconfidence.
overconfidence.
Probably on the 2 base, I'm expecting. Oh no,
That one.
the Saber and the droid. Okay. I was expecting the droid. Just the sister was the other one I was
Well,
expecting.
the
to
droid would
use.
always be a 1, so it's
Double
he gets
blank. There goes the
pig.
Saber. Yep.
That's rough.
Yeah,
is
that
really
was
rough.
perfect for Philippe.
Snake eyes.
Oh, the leadership play. Nice. We've got John trash talking
Taunting, yeah.
Philippe because he was able to pull that off. An ancient. Wow, he just.
Anakin is getting stacked.
Yeah, he's just making sure that if Kylo dies, Anakin's ready.
At this point, I feel like Anakin is more of a threat.
For sure, but he's also got Force illusion on him, so he's functionally as durable as Kylo is right now.
Yeah.
You know, Philippe's gotten the time to get himself up and running.
Anakin will go.
Oh, that was a reroll. Okay. There's the drag using Ford and Axis, because John gave it to him and Philippe took it.
Yeah.
And he took one of the droids away. That way, on reactivation, Sister doesn't get a second. It's a good choice.
He only gets the same one that he would have.
He's the guardian.
Yeah. Anakin gets guarded because of the battlefield.
Exactly.
That's 4-5 damage.
Plus a
Wow.
focus.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Breakout hero.
All right. So now John's trying to do what he's going to do. There comes the shield. Makes sense. He's got to stay alive because there's a lot of potential coming from Philippe.
Somehow, yeah.
Always going for the ditch and reroll, not just using the focus. He's just trying to get as much as he can out of this. And that paid out.
Yeah, I did. Wow. That is a great roll.
Especially that +3.
Yeah.
He's trying to count to see if he can kill Sister on the next activation.
Does Gobel have any mitigation in his hand? Oh no,
he's
just
kept his
poking
hand mostly down. Oh, the Ancient just to heal? Yep. Which is unfortunate given he was ready to roll it in again.
Well, I think it's like 4,
So
5, 6, 7,
Yep.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
yeah,
That's,
Philippe
that's
used the
lethal.
focus just to get more damage. So unless John can do anything here, we're likely to going to go to game 2. Oh, he's just going to roll in for the heck of it? All right. He's in fact making comments.
Oh wow.
So John's openly said to Philippe he has no mitigation in hand, but he's going to roll just because he wanted to see what would happen.
And now it's only
Sienna.
Sienna.
And she's injured. Will they continue or will they go to game 2?
I think he'll play it out.
I mean, they do have the time, and it allows them to see more of Philippe's deck. Alright, looks like we're going to keep playing it out. There was a pull to get an Ancient Lightsaber back, which Sienna couldn't use. It's really weird interactions due to the pluses and mixed damage, but you know, why not?
At this point, I think Gobel will take whatever he can get, you know?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear this on the stream, but John's explaining to those around him here that this is roughly what happened the first game in which when they were practicing, or possibly earlier today, as I believe they did meet.
Oh yeah, that's.
Yep.
He's gonna concede.
All right, on to round 2.
So what kind of halftime adjustments, like I like to call it, would you think Gobel should do?
I'm really not sure. I think his biggest issue was what cards he saw. Right?
Yeah,
Like
at the
he
beginning.
needed to see upgrades he could play, and not have to keep rerolling with Night Sister as much. But he just wasn't getting the rolls.
Using Night Sister a lot, like self-damaging her
Yeah.
to try to get something out is, it's rough.
For sure.
especially when Kylo and Anakin are just doing so much damage to you so consistently.
Yeah. And now John is making random commentary about his deck not doing what he wants it to do. Hopefully it'll do better for him this time.
Yeah, on paper, you would think this matchup wouldn't be so one-sided.
For sure, John should have had a lot more damage out the door before Philippe killed him, at the very least.
At least, I would have thought Anakin would have gone down before
Yeah,
his son and
or
sister.
Kylo down by half or something.
But again, the Force Illusion discarded a Price of Failure and key cards that
That's
Bale
true.
really wanted to see in his hand. Right?
That is very true. And Philippe was rolling really well.
Oh yeah, he rolled amazing.
And I mean, there's also the thing that Kylo 2 is just meant to go after mono decks, which is sort of what John's running. He's got a bit of red, but it's still so much blue.
Yeah, just a sprinkle of red, 2 copies of gray, and everything else is
Yeah.
blue. So, and the more red cards he plays, the more likelihood of you hitting a
Exactly.
blue. Yeah.
And that's why there's other people who will play this OTK deck with all 3 colors, just because the yellow will give you all that mitigation, and it'll have the numbers of cards in your deck to make Kylo have to think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, they're just pile shuffling. There is the mulligan by John.
Do you think John should switch battlefields maybe to get the
So
shields?
the thing is that Battlefield gives a lot of power to Emo, although not as much as it used to, since this Kylo doesn't have a special, and this Anakin special is
Kinda like
situational.
self-damage.
No, this Anakin is the one where he discards a card and either gains shields or does damage if it's a villain or a hero. And since he's playing heroes, it'll always do damage. So,
Interesting choice. Gobel kept a Maul. Lightsaber.
he's hoping for Sienna to give him some resources, and he may have an Enrage in hand that we didn't see.
Could be.
And I mean, Maul's Saber is just good. What? Maybe he doesn't want to risk not seeing it again?
Hey, this time he chose the other battlefield.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that's why he kept them all.
Flip on the first one? No. Yeah. Flip it.
All right, there's Binds All Things, a lightsaber pull. Oh, and there was the Enrage, as I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So John's getting set up for that Maul.
There it is.
There it is. And the cross guard is now in Philippe's hands, so some damage is incoming to John. There's cuts, as everything's very appropriate that way. We want to be proper and make sure there's no...
Very Sportman-like.
Yep. And here comes the cross guard, and
We have to mention that Binds of Things on turn 1 is amazing. The
It's-
amount of resource that it saves you, it's huge.
for sure, I mean, assuming you play 3, 4, 5 rounds, that's each round you're saving a resource after the first. But you need to see it early or it doesn't pay off.
So Kylo rolls in a shield, a resource, and 1 damage.
Yeah. So as being mentioned in the comments right now, some people are talking about the change of battlefields and why John didn't use his.
He finally Oh no, he called red and he got it. Oh wow.
Wow. So the reason that John chose the other battlefield, as they're saying in the comments, is likely correct, in that the Fortin Axis was being used against him, and that was problematic.
Not only that, but he's also smart because in the discard pile he saw 2 blue and then Maul, which is 3 blue. So calling
call
red
on the
is
Kylo,
a very
yeah.
smart call.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
smart call.
Although that probe did hit a doubt, which is painful, and showed that there was a 4 speed in hand. Oh, and Anakin's on special, but now Philippe's only got 2 cards in hand. One's a 4 speed. John's trying to guess right now as to what the other card is to see if he cares about that
Boundless
special.
Ambition will let him
Oh.
drop back to his
Nice.
hand size.
That's the perfect time to play it.
Discard to reroll.
There's a droid. He's got a droid in hand. Philippe does not generally discard with that deck, so that droid's going to come down next turn. There was the reroll by Philippe, proving that he didn't have a villain card he'd be willing to discard for the special.
That's right.
But he did dish for speed, which is one of the most expensive cards in the game for a reason, and it's now in his discard. Here comes Night Sister.
2 resources, a focus, and a blank.
Yeah, that's not that great. Oh, John's making a joke about if he had a whole bunch more droids, he'd be happy because that focus would increase by
Value
every
by
other
one.
droid that was on the table, and he could fix all of his dice.
That's a nice roll. So we're doing 3 damage to the Night Sister.
Yeah. Or Seven Sister.
7 Sister, sorry.
This is the other part about when people play this deck. We can't just say sister, as there's 2 of them.
We have to say 7th
Yeah.
Sister.
7th or Knight, pretty much. Oh, close quarter assault, but only for a reroll. And it's off the table.
Wow,
Came
that is
back at 2.
nice. That is very nice.
That was worth it.
Does
Takes the damage on the Night
Smart.
Sister in order to reroll,
and that's a special.
which is useless because he has no cards.
That's right.
And John's laughing.
He's having a good time no matter what.
Yep. Here comes the Knight on
And
blank.
he rolls a blank.
It's unfortunate.
That's a +2.
Yep, so
which
Sienna came up as
right now-
pointless. Yep, he's making comments about how it's the same as a blank in this game. Although if the Night Sister came up on ranged, he could use it. I doubt he'll try and keep for that.
I wouldn't.
Neither would I. Well, sorry, in a fun game I might just...
Could you claim and do the special on the crossguard?
I believe so, yes.
What do, like, would that be? Would that be a right call? Would that be?
I just need a reminder, we're going to pull it up on screen. Yeah, that would be a very reasonable thing.
Right? Instead of using Kylos.
Yep. Yep. And there's the reroll. Now Sienna's on base damage. That's good. And of course the Night Sister is, now that Sienna is no longer on +2, as we were just talking about.
So it's 1/1. He discards.
Well, he has to. He
Yeah.
needs that damage. I believe he's trying to decide if he wants to reroll the droid with it. He chooses not to. And the reroll is a blank, a +4, and a 1. And 1 shield. But he's got that focus. He can get 6 damage on the table, and Philippe cannot stop it. Because he has no cards left and only 2 dice on board. So, some people are making comments about there being possible less than ideal plays being made. Everyone needs to remember, these guys are on their 9th round of the day. So it's been a long day.
It's definitely taxing on the mind.
Alright, so we've got some resources, a shield, still got that focus and +4.
He could do 6 melee and 2 ranged.
Yep. And
a
he
total of
could
8, right?
and he'd still have the ability to power action that maul back in.
That's right.
Which, although doesn't have a lot of faces he can use, it's still something. He ditches, the droid. Wow.
That's a interesting call.
Okay, he did hit damage. Now this might be worth it if he focuses for 2. Then he can power action back in, and he gets pulls a shield in. Gets rid of it with the 2 range.
Now he could do 6, roll the maul back in, focus the sister die to another 2, and that's
Yep. Well, here's the
That's
first.
lethal, no?
Yep. Here's the first 6. He's trying to take Kylo out here,
this is gonna be a nail
and there's the power action. Comes in at
that
+3,
could be lethal if he plays it right.
and there's the focus to get a 2. That's another 5, and there goes
that
Kylo.
is great.
All right.
Wow.
This is a very different game than our game 1.
Absolutely. It's still close, don't get me wrong.
For sure.
But it's
Phil-
much better. Yeah.
Philippe does not have much damage available to him right now unless he draws damage. Whereas John has all of his characters available. They're injured, but he's got a lot of potential.
We saw Philippe discard a force illusion, I think. Before?
There was a speed.
Oh, force speed. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's another crossguard in his hand.
There is.
However, it's Anakin, so he won't get the bonus damage.
I believe Philippe has a force illusion too, so that should be interesting.
Yeah. There's the binds all things and 1 for the crossguard. He needs to set up to be able to do damage. Oh, and John likely getting ready for an upgrade.
And look how important the Night Sister was in this instance, because she's still at 3 health.
Yep.
So you can still use her. You can still reroll with her.
John set up for more damage.
That's the special on the crossguard. Could definitely be interesting.
The special's actually on Anakin.
Oh,
Crossguards are 1 resource.
They look alike.
And it's hard to see sometimes, as these are small images.
Oh, the
Oh.
best defense.
Yep, getting rid of 2, because he's already in a strong position. He's just trying to guarantee it. And I mean, Sienna hasn't been touched yet. There's a discard of Frighten to reroll the 1 die for a plus. Oh,
He could always claim and do 2.
this is true.
So it's guaranteed 2 no matter what.
Yep. If he remembers that that's an option. And there's the 7th Sister coming in.
Well, Maul is really good. He
Yeah,
just needs
that's about it,
a
though.
melee. He just needs a black.
Which he didn't get.
No.
But he's got cards he can ditch as well as the Night Sister. So roll the Night Sister in, see if he can. Oh,
Oh,
2
two
damage.
ranged.
Wow. So he'll probably resolve that and then just start beating on Night Sister until he can get what he needs.
Philippe must have some sort of control in his hand.
He's got the
considering-
resources.
Oh,
Overconfidence.
overconfidence is smart.
Yep, on the Night Sister and on the droid. Okay. And the Night Sister stays on 2 damage. And there
Not
goes the
bad.
droid. That was not what Philippe wanted to see.
So Anakin's at 8.
Yep.
Do when you hit both that, when you click on the name of the card, it'll come up on that side. Another thing you need to do, if the battlefield changes, the start, that's where the battle.
This is definitely a more exciting game than the first one.
I mean, the first one was pretty good. So far, everything we've had on stream has been very enjoyable
Yeah,
to
it's
watch.
been a blast.
It has not been so one-sided that it just ends quickly. I mean, that's the great thing with Destiny. You're not out until you're out.
It's not over until it's over.
Yeah. And now I feel like we're really cheesy anchor people, but that's okay. All right, so John's trying to work out some details. Here comes Sienna.
The fact that he activated Cena means that he
No
doesn't
leadership.
have a no leadership yet.
Yeah. But he
He
still
also
has damage
has
at
no
the
resources.
Yeah. He got the damage, though.
Yeah. Every damage counts in this instance, especially because there's no force illusion.
For sure. So now John's just chatting with those around, trying to explain where he's at, because he's a little confused as to why Philippe hasn't done anything, and he's expecting Philippe has some mitigation. John's played a second Aftermath just to get some more resources.
Price of failure.
Oh, and
There
he
we
kills the 7th Sister to reset. Sorry, kills the Night Sister to reset the 7th Sister. Wow. I might have damaged the Night Sister a bit more to get ideal rolls,
And then until it's over, then
yeah.
you. Yeah.
but nonetheless, he's now set himself up for some strong options. So we'll see him resolving as many dice as he can in order to be able to roll them back out. There's 2 shields, keep himself alive later, and a resource.
Yeah, because Bryce again could be a thing.
Yep. Now he's rolling in. It's just too bad he's going to lose out on 1 Maul Saber because
Did
it
he
was
use his
sitting on
power
the
action
board.
yet?
No, he did not. But he could have had Maul Saber 3 times this round instead of 2.
Well, he rolled a 1 focus, so that's not bad.
This is true.
Oh, he's re-rolling.
Ditching to
Force
reroll.
Solution.
Yep. Oh, he feels he's in a strong enough position, right? Okay, and here we go.
There we go.
He got
at least
the damage,
one, yeah.
so he can resolve the Maul and bring it back.
Oh.
That's what we were waiting on, was feel your anger. So I'm assuming... Oh, he takes the focus.
So he's gonna
Interesting.
guaranteed take.
So he's expecting he can't take more damage later by getting rid of that focus.
I was still rolling them all.
For sure, because you've got a face that gets you resources and a face that gets...
Oh, that's
No. Oh,
the
he
right
put the,
dice,
he put
but-
the die in the wrong place, that's why.
there. You go. See, this is why I would roll it still.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a
They're-
chance you can.
And now they're resetting, so that's fine. Oh, no, or not. They're holding off. Oh, he's now correcting, so the right card is tapped, or exhausted. Remember which game I'm playing.
So Anakin is down to 2 health
Yeah.
against a 5 damage, 3 shields, and now using the
Yep.
Ancient to
lightsaber.
heal.
So this is not looking good for Philippe, but that's okay. He won the first round, so he'll still have another round available to him.
there might definitely be a game 3.
Yeah. All right. So we're now into the next step, and Philippe is upgrading to a 3-cost upgrade. Oh, 4-cost Maul Saber.
Which right now it's a really good
He
card,
needs the damage.
but he needs to get rid of the shields first.
And there's the pull.
There's the pull.
Well, presuming he resolves the Maul Saber already, he'll get rid of those shields. But now there's an Ancient in John's hand, and he should have the resource. He has lots of resources. So that Ancient's going to come down before he does anything else, I expect. we've got
That's
a special. Oh, the special's good, but he can't resolve that Maul Saber right now.
wow.
Nice.
The control is real.
Yep. So Sienna takes the damage, but well worth it with that best defense. Philippe plays the second it binds all things. I'm pretty sure just as a stall, so he doesn't have to claim or pass.
He's trying to hang on, and he's doing the right thing. He's,
Playing close quarter defense, just to discard one card from John's hand. Because this card is based on the number of dice that the controller has with the melee face on it, and Philippe only has one.
would you probe his last card out?
As
Gobel has a probe droid.
there's still 2 cards in Philippe's hand.
Oh, just to gain information on what his.
I would keep it for reroll. He's in a strong position. He wants to kill him here. Right? Oh, but he's going to probe just in case.
He wants to see what's.
Oh,
See both of them.
nice, nice. And John's just mentioning to Philippe that he was considering the extra reroll potential, but wanted to make sure. And hitting the hidden motive was big. And that's now game 3.
That's game 3. Everything is tied.
Yep.
So, any halftime adjustments that you would suggest for Philippe?
I mean, this is gonna be the nature of these games. I expect where one side's gonna roll the damage they need, while the other side doesn't. They're both just such aggressive decks.
It is definitely an even match.
Because I did notice Philippe changed his attack a little bit. So Philippe did change his tactics a little bit. He did not touch the Night Sister. He was just trying to go for 7th, whereas in the first game, he made sure to kill the Night Sister at one point.
To remove that.
To remove the rerolls and the price of failure options. So maybe that was was a better tactic. All right, so those guys are there. So right now, John and Philippe are just talking about how that game went and some of John's thought processes, because these guys are friends, as we mentioned earlier. So they're just trying to get there. All right. On the plus side, if John does win, that means that Philippe doesn't have to be concerned about the fact that he's staying at his house.
Of course.
Of course, I jest entirely. These guys are friends, nothing would... But, you know. Also...
I gotta say, both of these players know that whoever wins, they will be facing Qui-Gon Yoda, and I feel that both decks have answers for that matchup.
We're still moving. All right, so...
I feel both decks will be well suited against Qui-Gon Yoda.
I agree.
You pick the one and then whoever has it.
So yeah, so I don't... If anyone's wondering why we're seeing 2017 National Championship mats underneath, there was a slight mix-up when it came to the prizes. So Asmodee FFG were amazing and they offered to all the events here copies of the 2017 prize kits, and will be once the 2018s are available, mailing them out to all the players who earned participations, anything else. So
It's very kind from FFG.
yeah,
We appreciate it.
So they're making sure everyone gets the prizes they deserve, plus the extra prizes. So they got something here at the event.
That's right. And as we can see, Philippe chose Gobel's battlefield, and he got the shields.
Yep. Well, the shields will be important, just keeping Kylo alive and reducing that Maul Saber, as well as Philippe's been tending to claim, so he'll be able to use Fort and Axis to slow John down, like in round 1. So Philippe's opened with an Ancient Lightsaber, so he's got some protection.
He's rolling in.
Actually, they both opened with Ancients. John's changed his mind. He's going to enrage the Night Sister for some resources.
He wants that die control, I feel.
Yep, he's got to have a control card in his hand that's going to cost money. Alright, there's the roll, and he flips Rise Again. That's really important information to have. Although every time I see Kylo trigger in that way, it makes me wish that Kylo had a discard face.
Yes, because that'll be...
Just so you could try and get that card afterwards and get rid of it.
That's right.
Whoop. Alright, so Philippe got...
That's not a bad roll. There's two... Oh.
There's the Night Sister re-rolling it. which is interesting because he could have afforded an axe instead as well, but it is 2 damage. Alright, came back shields.
But the Night Sister already at 4 damage.
Yeah,
Turn 1.
she's really injured. There's the disrupt. Okay. Yeah, Philippe may just gun down or slash down Night Sister.
He did that in the first game, and it worked out for him.
For sure. And Philippe's got a Force Illusion.
And no money to pay for it.
But he doesn't need it quite yet. It'll be a good card for later, though.
It's true. As long as he doesn't. Oh,
There's the Enrage.
there it is. Because he wants to play that.
Yep, now he has options.
So that's 2, 3 damage, a
Yep.
shield, and a blank.
Yep. I expect he'll be re-rolling in the future. They're spending for overconfidence on his own die.
Oh, that's a 1.
Interesting.
Oh.
That gets rid of the sister,
Yep. Only a 2 would have saved.
but she has the 2 option.
Oh, leadership.
Leadership, yep.
Smart.
And I love seeing the comments right now where people are just going on about how great our meta is, as there's so many different decks that can get up to the top. I mean, we saw Palpatine earlier, which is something that fell out and is back. There are numerous...
And it was a close match, too.
Yeah, and there are although there are numerous decks that run Seventh Sister, they play very differently.
Absolutely.
There's the hidden motive. I expect calling damage. There's
he
the
gets it.
damage. It's gone. But Seventh Sister is still readied, so stuff's gonna happen. There's 1 damage.
2
I almost
shields.
tore down the other
Yep.
Thank you. And then I was like, oh, there's a reason. Oh, sorry, we shouldn't have.
All right, there's the extra droid.
Yep. This will make the droid start to get really good. Plus
That's
3.
not.
Nice.
That's a good roll. That's not bad.
I mean, he's got the base to go with it.
And he claimed, Philippe claimed, so he definitely doesn't have any answers in
Yep.
hand.
Discarding Rise Again to roll, so that's both Rise Agains in grave.
Wow, that's ballsy.
Yeah, well, he feels like he's strong in position and he wants to get that OTK
Well,
damage.
he did get the focus.
Yep. So he'll focus. Back the Night Sister to 2, and because it's a 2
Yeah,
due to
because
the.
it's a 2.
So just as a reminder, the way the droids work, their X is equal to the total number of droids on the board, including themselves, when they're resolved.
Kylo's are 5 damage. But both Rise Again are out. So every damage that you do to the Night Sisters is important.
Yeah. Looks like John may have drawn two doubts and 2 draw cards.
Boundless Ambition. too.
Thank you.
Are the other rooms closed?
That's a lot of repetitive cards in his hand.
Yeah, let's just get them to close the rooms if they're not.
Oh,
Yeah, so we've had a comment about some of those damage tokens being hard to read.
because they're clear, yeah.
Assuming someone comes on the stream next with those same tokens, we may ask them to swap them so we can read them better. That's a great point. All right, here comes Anakin. Not a great roll, but that happens.
It's important to note that Philippe has that Force Solution in hand.
Yep. There's the heal with the
Oh, he overrode.
Wow. It's not common to see someone override an ancient lightsaber.
Well, he doesn't have any shields, so...
Yeah, and that saber is just so powerful.
But again, it's an ancient lightsaber.
For sure. And no rise again, so he can't get it back.
That is problematic because I think
That's
that's
a lot of
lethal,
damage.
and he doesn't have the ancient lightsaber anymore.
Yeah. Although he may choose to... Oh, he has the
he can pay
resources
for it,
already.
yeah. He has the resources.
Is that 6 damage showing?
And his characters don't have guard because they don't have the battlefield.
I'm expecting a Night Sister damage play in order to keep himself alive. Although maybe he has a card I missed in his hand. A doubt. Okay. And it comes up off the table, and it comes back as special. Does he have a card to discard? He does. And that's 3 damage, so that worked out not in John's favor.
Yeah. That Night Sister is...
And there goes the 7th sister.
Yeah. Now this is a very rough spot.
Yep, John's going to be hurting here.
Again, he pitched the Rise Against.
Yep. Although he hasn't had the resources.
He could have. He could have.
Philippe's just rerolling to try and get some damage in.
Do you feel like there's anything Copel can do at this point, or is it more like formality, just playing it out?
It's probably more of a formality unless it goes really badly. Unless Philippe's roll failures start happening, John's in a bad spot.
Oh, there's all this stuff?
I think they're just playing through the motions.
Yep. Well,
As-
you're at
as
top
sad
4.
as-
Why
yeah.
would you want to just walk away? There's the boundless, and we can overhear John is kind of talking like, I'm just doing this to.
That's right.
See
He's
what I
just
can
going
get.
through the formalities. But you know, we got to give it to both of them. They're great players.
Yep.
They went really, really far.
Yep. And John is playing it out like a champ as opposed to just giving up and
Just scooping.
yeah. Right. He does have a force illusion in hand, which means he can keep himself alive longer. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
As he injures the Night Sister to reroll the Night Sister die. Because I believe he has. There it is. Because he has a +2 on the Sienna. He was looking for 3 damage. And now
Consolation prize.
he's calling out a moral victory for being able to do that damage. All right. So
right now I would probably discard the force illusion if I was, you know.
he's just rolling to see what damage he can get. There's the damage from Kylo. I'm assuming he's going to kill Night Sister. Yep.
Yeah. Night Sister is as good as dead.
Yep. Now he's just got Sienna left, who only has 1 damage face. That matters. But he gets the droid on the sister. On Sienna. I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And for any of those people who are watching this and commenting, questioning, viewing these things as anything as misplays, please again remember these guys have been playing since 10 a.m. this morning. This is it can be very draining. They are doing the best they can, and I think they're doing great. I believe time has just gone off. Oh, my mistake. That was an Imperial Salt time
We
going
still
off.
have
over
like
here.
40 something minutes.
I was a little confused, but I'm hearing a timer go off.
That's 4 damage on. Oh.
Oh,
So
best
choosing to do
defense.
3 to.
He saves damage.
Yeah. Well, technically it would have been the same because.
Well, no, it was 5 versus 3.
Oh, right.
So he saved 2 damage. It's never great, but it's a thing.
The other matchup is a Qui-Gon Yoda mirror.
I may be.
Yeah. So out of that bracket, we're gonna see a Qui-Gon Yoda no matter what.
Yep. Well, really, we're going to see an all-blue final, as mentioned in the comments.
Yeah. Yes, we are. The reds and the
unless
yellows didn't
somehow-
quite make it.
Unless somehow John pulls this through.
The miracle.
I mean,
If he makes it through, he will be known, renowned
Yeah.
across Destiny. He will be like the comeback.
yeah. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright, so we're just, sorry guys, we're just getting amused by some of the commentary that they're making themselves at the table.
Which is hilarious.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Discarding
As Philippe
the
is just
heirloom.
discarding good upgrades to see if he can get damage. Alright. John's calling Philippe on whether or not he can actually get the damage in this round or not. And there's the ditch to reroll, and he got the damage, I believe.
That game. All right. Philippe Hakim moves on.
I believe so. No. He's not dead yet. He's only at 7 of 9. It was a plus
right.
3.
It's a 9. It's a 9.
Yeah. So this is getting very close to done.
I mean, just a Kylo trigger will
Yeah, a correctly called Kylo
I
trigger.
want and
And he just gets rid of a blue card to reduce the Kylo comments. Now he does have a red card in hand.
he has a 1 in 4 chance of.
Yeah. Now John's questioning why Phil is gotta be like that because he's triggering Kylo for the win.
And
Blue.
that is it.
That is game, guys. So yeah. All right. They're congratulating each other.
Great game. Great games.
So, guys, again, this is the Canadian Nationals for 2018. We'll be back with the top table in a little bit. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey guys, welcome back. I have here my good friend and partner in crime from Starkiller Base, John Gobel.
Hey guys, it's John here from Starkiller Base. Yeah, I just came off of a fresh loss on stream. I'm sure you guys saw it. It was wonderful. After I lost the seventh sister in the third game there, Philippe and I are friends, so we were joking around a bit there because I knew that, I mean, you can GG, but you never know, right?
That's right.
It's the top four. You don't just sweep and go home. You sweep and come commentate. So, hey.
Exactly. It's the right choice. So we got Kylo Ren, Elite Anakin against Qui-Gon and Elite Yoda. Which matchup do you think has the slight advantage in this instance?
It's a tough call. Kylo, I mean, the deck is basically mono blue, right? Like there's 2 Rens and that's it.
Right.
And Philippe is going to call blue all the time because why not? Interesting fact is that Steven was the only person that beat Philippe in the Swiss.
That's important.
So the thing is, the Qui-Gon Yoda deck can generate so many shields that they can basically just nullify Kylo's ability to some degree, and it makes Maul Saber a lot tougher. But I mean, they've got so much damage they can strip him off pretty well.
Interesting to note that Steven's deck has only 2 gray cards, and everything else is blue.
That's right. And it's interesting in the Toronto and Hamilton regional, the deck list was pretty similar. They didn't have the It Binds All Things. They had Guard instead, and they've taken Guard out in this list because apparently they found it wasn't very useful in the regionals. I mean, obviously, the Binds All Things is working, but turn 1 double It Binds All Things is ridiculous.
It's a really strong play, yeah.
Especially with Yoda. I mean, you practically don't need the economy when you're running Yoda, but I mean, obviously, the addition of them is working. Philippe runs them as well, and I played a game in testing, and he had double It Binds against me, and he just ripped my face off with it because he basically just could play a 3-cost and a mitigation every turn.
We see here that Yoda's already at 3 damage, and it's very early on, but as you mentioned, It Binds All Things provides the economy that you need to play all your upgrades so early on, turn 1 basically, both of them. That's big.
Well, here's the thing I found with the deck. Excuse me. I played against Steven like 4 games in the Hamilton regional, and I found that if you kill Yoda first, it actually works better. Because Yoda, I mean, especially if you can kill him early, because it takes away the economy. Of course, the Binds All Things is going to fix that. But the thing is, you're getting rid of 3 upgrade slots as well. Right. And, you know, you're also getting rid of the consistency that Yoda provides to Qui-Gon's dice. Although, when you roll like that, apparently you don't need it.
There's
4 damage there.
Yeah.
One thing that I think has been interesting about Philippe playing today is he actually plays Overconfidence. And then he'll use, like, my die, one of his dice and one of my dice. He did it. I called it in game 3 when he did it too, and he's done it. He did it to me earlier, and it's interesting because you can just play the odds, right? Like, you know, with my 7th sister, there was a 2. He rolled in a 1, so as long as I don't roll the 2, then he can remove my die and keep his, and he got a free reroll out of it.
Interesting way of playing cards for die removal.
Yeah, I don't know that it's the best use of Overconfidence, because you could take 2 of your opponent's dice that are showing something reasonable, re-roll them both, and get rid of one of them.
But I guess if your die is showing bad, you can fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense if it's your last card, because you get a re-roll out of it as well. But
so we have here getting a resource.
So Yoda's already at 5 damage here.
Yeah,
which is pretty great. Oh, I see. Yeah, so he was going to disrupt the resource, so he couldn't do the 2. Discard close quarters. And
interesting, he didn't use the disrupt because he could have easily.
He's got a resource showing on Kylo, so he could just take it anyway. So, in case you can't see in the glare there, yeah, he probably should have. In case you can't see in the glare, that's Obi-Wan's hut, obviously.
Yeah.
I would have re-rolled because you've got 2 blanks and a Kylo with a 1. I mean, it's kind of a shame, but especially with the you know the discard's coming. So he takes the $1 and then gets rid of the $1.
Claims.
And of course, the thing is, if Philippe can get ahead of Steven in this and get claims in and get his own shields and also keep the shields off of Qui-Gon, which could potentially be doing a damage every claim, then
it's huge.
He's going to get a good start. So I think that if the double binds wasn't out and Yoda died this turn, I think Steven would be in a world of hurt. I still think obviously Yoda needs to die this turn, but Qui-Gon with the double binds will be doing all right, I think.
I mean, Yoda still provides you the shields, right? So in some way, he's still efficient. Double blanks.
I agree, guys in the chat there. Yeah, this is going well for Philippe. Definitely.
6, 7, 8 damage. And do you see a Force Illusion or anything on Steven's hand? No, nothing.
The thing is with Philippe's deck, there's not a lot of modified sides. So Force Illusion is just it's like Force Illusion on both sides of this matchup. You play against Qui-Gon with Force Illusion, and it's like you should have just discarded to reroll because it's going to save you like 1 or 2 hit points until a Maul Saber or one of the rare modified sides comes out in these decks. Force Illusion will stop 2. I mean, and it means you're not dead. It's good.
So we see a lightsaber pull for a Shoto.
Yep. So Qui-Gon's going to do some interesting stuff here.
Remove shields, gain shields.
Yep.
Anakin rolls in.
Those blanks though.
Oh, yep.
There's the double Shoto, which means Qui-Gon can take 2 shields.
Would you have done the 2 after he rolls in? Maybe.
I'm sorry?
Would you have resolved the 2 melee after?
No,
he rolls
the
in?
thing is, Force Misdirection is a thing, so if he leaves the 2 out and re-rolls and hits all melee, then if Qui-Gon is in with a melee side like that Shoto, then it's just all gone. And, I mean, it takes a couple actions to do it, but, but definitely a re-rolls here. Triple blanks is no good.
Yeah, it can't get any worse.
So it looks like he took a shield and then pinged. Or I guess he could have removed the shield, whatever. So there's
Binds
a
on
binds.
things turn 2. Not as good as turn 1, but still good enough.
Mm-hmm. It's better. It means a 3 cost a turn if you want. There's 6 damage there.
juicy,
That's
yeah.
pretty good. Philippe has no money, but he's got doubt. Doubt on the +2 is a good choice because you can't resolve most of the sides by itself. So Kylo at 5 damage is not too bad, but that there you go. The Shoto and the Qui-Gon die could be a lot better, obviously.
Would you discard to reroll right here?
I would discard reroll if I was Philippe. It depends on what you got in your hand too, though, right?
Well, we got Ancient, we got Heirloom, and he discards the Heirloom. Okay. Interesting.
And sometimes it's a tough choice, but the Heirloom's a 3. I mean, the Heirloom would be okay because you could overwrite the crossguard when Kylo's about to die, which
that's
is
unfortunate.
really soon. That's a lot of damage.
He was okay. 2 shields, a shield. You think he will claim, or he would try to go for? Well, he has a lightsaber pull, but he's already fully decked out. Yeah.
But the thing, Qui-Gon will get well. Arguably, Qui-Gon may not get better because Shotos are just so good for him. They can effectively, when Kylo 2 rolls in and does 2, Qui-Gon rolls in and gets 2, right?
That's right.
So,
That's right.
however, crossguards the special on the crossguard does 3 damage if the character has shields. So it's sort of like a cheaper villain, not as good.
A poor version.
Poor man's version of the light bow. And it's excellent on Kylo too.
Qui-Gon's gonna roll in. See what
he can alpha Kylo too here. Or he could get more money than God apparently.
That's right.
Play that big 5 cost upgrade.
Is there one 5 cost?
There actually is, but
there
it's red. It's a ridiculously large gun.
Or like a cannon type of thing.
Yeah, it has 1 range, 2 range, 3 range, 4 range, 5 range, I think, and a blank. And you can use an action to turn it from one side to the side that has 1 more damage than it.
I'm guessing now that Qui-Gon's fully decked out, that binds of things don't really do much.
Yes.
So we do Shoto triggers was 1 damage to Kylo, 1 shield on Qui-Gon.
He forgot the Shoto triggers. He's got 2 shields. I don't think
Well,
he forgot.
Kylo's at 6 now instead of 5.
Yeah.
Blue.
So there goes Qui-Gon shields, which are pretty good when Qui-Gon's got a 2 shield die there. Yeah, I'm really questioning that heirloom discard. I mean, you may have been in a tough spot, but I mean, like 6 hit points, and Kylo's gonna wish he had some redeploy.
Philippe also has a Fear Your Anger, so
There's some synchronicity, so he's up to 8. He's got 4 hit points remaining.
would you trigger Ancient Lightsaber, or would you first resolve it and then trigger it, thinking?
Well,
I'm
he's not one shot away from being dead.
Okay,
so
he's still got a chance.
Yeah, doing 3 damage to Qui-Gon wouldn't be bad. But
He chose to activate Anakin instead. That's an interesting choice. I would have done the
Well,
3 damage.
he doesn't have any cards left, so if he wants to reroll, he wants to reroll big. But the question is, he's got $2, so some trust your instincts. He got $2, which means he can probably play some die control. I think I see a Force Illusion in Philippe's hand there. That's a good reroll, but
roll.
it's not lethal if he puts a Force Illusion out. But it'll take up almost all of his dice. So we got, I think, overconfidence. Okay, that'll help. Except for one problem. There goes Kylo
Yeah, I would have.
because of the God roll. I may have missed the Force Illusion. It might have been a. Well, you want to try to keep him alive, right? But yes, I mean that's 3 damage. you missed
Resolve,
out on.
put the Force Illusion down, and
I'm not sure he had. Oh, I'm not sure he had the Force Illusion. It might have been. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. I thought he played the overconfidence. I thought might have been it, but yeah, like that heirloom discard is looking pretty bad right about now, sadly. However, there's 4 more damage, so
not bad.
well, 2 if Qui-Gon
But-
takes his shields there.
The Kylo triggers for the spotting a blue.
Yes, that's
coin
gonna
is gone.
be a downhill or an uphill battle now because the Shotos are firing and Anakin can do like without upgrades he's only doing 2 damage a turn probably versus the shields there. Unbreakable removes the special. And he had to pay. Is that a pay side? I can't
it's a
actually see it.
base, Stupid.
Sorry.
Hmm?
I was looking at the card. I don't know I got the right one.
Oh.
He was just discarding it.
No, he played it.
But I didn't think he had shields.
He doesn't,
That
but
was a 0 card.
he resolved the special.
I'm not an idiot. Well,
Elrathian in chat was asking what happened here, and in case you walked away for 2 seconds, Qui-Gon rolled in lethal, and instead of playing Force Illusion, which would have kept him alive, he played Overconfidence on the heirloom and the +2 on the Shoto, and he re-rolled and hit
Oh my gosh.
he hit the 3 on the heirloom, which was exactly lethal, and it was Qui-Gon's action next, so he killed him. Killed Kylo. I mean, there was only a 1 in 6 chance that he was going to die, but like, if you can guarantee that you're not going to die by
You might
playing
as
Force
well.
Illusion, yeah, I would have do the Force Illusion and then pop the Ancient.
I would dealt 3 damage, popped the Ancient back to my hand, then Force Illusion. It would still be alive.
Yeah,
Or Force Illusion.
but again,
then pop the,
that heirloom saber that he discarded.
yeah. Because again, he never got to resolve those dice, so they're
Mhm.
effectively dead die.
Exactly. And I mean, like, at most, Anakin naked here is going to do 4 damage, and Qui-Gon can stop 2 of it with. Never mind. This is, the Castle Brothers have been playing this deck for months, apparently. It's really interesting because one of them lives in Hamilton and one of them lives in Peterborough, which is like 2
Quite far, yeah.
hours apart. Steven here is the one from Peterborough, and he has like a 2 or 3 man meta out there. I don't know if he plays on TTS or not, but he's obviously practicing a lot.
they were both here for regionals last. So yeah, both of the brothers were here for regionals last week, and
Yes.
His brother Daniel won
Yeah,
regionals.
they both
With a
play
very
this.
similar deck.
Yeah, they both play more or less the same list. Steven was King of Swiss at Hamilton and came in second and lost to Matt Cosino playing Sabine Yoda at Hamilton Regional. And then Steven's brother Daniel won the Toronto Regional with the same deck.
All those upgrades that Anakin doesn't have.
Yes, unfortunately, the Ganondorf chat is saying that that Philly's mistake was pretty brutal, and I think it was too. I mean, again, it was a 1 in 6, but I mean, if you can guarantee that you don't die,
Yeah.
versus have a 1 in 6 chance of not dying, you should take the guarantee, and then he had 2 resources. He could have done overconfidence again after a reroll or something.
Do you
So-
care about the 1 damage, or do you claim to guarantee to go first?
You claim because it gives you a shield, which is effectively the same as taking as stopping
Oh.
your damage.
He's
It's
He's scooping. Yeah.
Philippe is conceding because
he doesn't see a way out.
well, it's just a matter of playing another 15 minutes before, or 2 minutes depending on the rolls for Qui-Gon to finish him off there. But yeah, that was the Kylo dying. There was a big turnaround when I was playing against Daniel at the Hamilton Regional. I was playing Poe Ayla, and I managed to play an all-in and kill Qui-Gon, and his whole board just fell apart. He had naked Yoda against Poe Ayla, and Qui-Gon was dead. Lost 2 Shotos. Big swings like that are rough.
What type of halftime adjustment do you think Philippe has to do against Steven?
I'm pretty sure that he knows his mistake, and he's gonna fix it. I mean,
From the hangar bay, Steven Castle won the first match, but it's the best out of 3.
well, El Rathian in chat there. If you saw me getting my butt handed to me round 1 of that the top 4, I mean, you just gotta shake it off. It's rough. I mean, Philippe kicked my butt in the Swiss in, I think Sister died turn 2 or something like that. I killed Anakin turn 1, but I mean, I wasn't expecting to do very well because the Pro TK deck is 80% or so blue. It's not quite mono, but so we'll see. I mean, you just shake it off and try to take the win. I mean, you get to choose the battlefield here too, so which is nice. I mean, if you saw in Philippe's in my matchup, it was basically I won when I had my battlefield, and I lost when I didn't.
That's right. And also keep in mind that because Philippe lost to Steven in the Swiss, there could be some mind games going on.
Sure.
So it's definitely a test of mental strength.
It's also we got here like 14 hours ago. No,
That's also true.
13 hours ago, and Philippe is running on
Fumes.
5 hours of sleep, something like that. He's a machine. The last 2 days he's been hanging out at my place, staying in my basement, and my buddy Greg, who lives around here, was another binds. There we go. Oh,
Turn 1 binds all things. Here we go.
there we go. And Philippe was testing like 5-6 hours a day with Greg, just trying different decks. He didn't even settle on the Kylo Anakin until probably an hour and a half before going to sleep last night. And that's actually my Anakin and my cross cards. So I lent him the cards that beat me, which is a little bittersweet.
Yep. 2 damage to Yoda, trying to take out Yoda.
Is he going
real
for
quick.
Yoda?
Yeah, he's going for Yoda.
I
Which is
mean-
the right call, I feel.
I want to say that it worked last game. Even though he lost, it was still the right call.
Yeah. So Yoda showing a 2 focus and a disrupt, which could be important in regards with the resource. That is
Well, if Philippe has a 2-cost upgrade in here, he should probably play it now with, or just
just overconfidence.
there we go. Yoda's die from overconfidence is usually a 1 or a 0. Kyle's got 2 sides, and Philippe can actually. Oh. Okay, so they both hit 2s,
Wow.
which is good.
That's interesting.
Well, the double focus is pretty rough, and I mean, if he rolls a special or something like that, it's gonna go away. So.
But now he has
Probably
no
good
way
call.
of actually. That's a nice roll.
Well, let's get hidden motives and and doubts and stuff like that. You always have outs. See?
So shouldn't you?
He calls melee, and he rerolls it. He has a 50-50 shot of hitting melee and removing the die. And unfortunately,
He didn't remove it. Oh my god, he's
wow. That's
rough.
that's the Destiny can be frustrating like that. That's basically what happened in my game 3. That's a pretty good roll, but trading hits is pretty tough. That's 7, so Kyle has 5. I mean, he's still not even half dead, but that's a tough hit to take.
It is.
And there's 2 pay sides on those melee sides, I think. So it looks like he enrages.
Well, he's definitely gonna hit back for 6, so it's not over yet.
No, I'll have back for 4 because he's got 2 pay sides.
All right, one of them is 2. Yeah.
I'm not sure what's in his hand, but I go for a reroll on Kylo's dice probably.
Are there better sides?
He's
Oh yeah,
got
because
one
you have
melee,
the
two melee.
Yeah.
So, or maybe you do a reroll on the one Kylo die, and then you've got, if you hit the resource, then you can, there's 2 melee sides and a resource.
I think Steven claimed, yeah. Steven
Wow, Yoda's getting beat up. Of course, I'd rather lose my secondary character.
He had another enrage.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Who do you put the damage on though? I don't see it. I'm guessing
he
it's
got
gotta be an Anakin.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. Philippe is killing his secondary character, and he's killing Philippe's primary character. So, I think from now on, you just, unless it's a cross guard, you just got to play it out on Anakin, because like they were saying in chat, you know that he's going to try to kill Kylo because Kylo's doing 2 damage a turn. So put all the upgrades on Anakin. Anakin's got 8 hit points left. Kylo has 7. I mean, I guess it's not that far off, but if you kill Kylo, you're getting rid of the upgrades and the ability. That's bad news.
Yeah, we saw how rough the naked Anakin was last game.
Exactly, and I mean, you gotta use that redeploy.
All right, so time to pick
and
3. Let's see where he
Philippe finally has an upgrade. If he puts a
Okay.
that's really, well, it's kind of dangerous. I was gonna say if he played a crossguard on Kylo, he could do damage to Yoda, and the next action when he rolls in, he could kill Yoda when he hits the blue. But I'm getting worried. Plus 2, plus 3. What's that last die? Wow.
That's lethal, no?
Ridiculous. That is 7. That's exactly lethal, yes. And Philippe just spent all his money. Thankfully he has a doubt in there. So he gets to do 1, which is not quite lethal, but Yoda's shields could ping him to death, potentially. So he's at 6. So he'll have 2 hit points left. You could use his specials to, well, did he forget the Shoto again? Looks like.
Did he forget the trigger?
It doesn't have a shield on Qui-Gon.
That's true. That's
and,
important.
And Philippe didn't do any damage.
Yeah,
and with Maul Saber, that's even more important.
And with the finals?
Well, if Qui-Gon does 4 to Kylo has 2 hit points left. If he hit a shield on Qui-Gon, Yoda's specials could ping and finish him off. I agree, Elrathian. In chat, Elrathian is saying that he shouldn't put all, like, Maul Saber on Kylo is probably not a good choice when Kylo's almost dead.
6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, he's 1
there's a double focus right there.
Yeah.
Resolve the double focus, make it a +2 or a 2 on Qui-Gon, and I don't know, Yoda special or something, just in case he doesn't die. And then GG. I mean, if Philippe doesn't have an heirloom in there, he's screwed.
He had an heirloom.
There's an heirloom there, but I mean,
yeah, okay.
Like there goes Kylo.
That's rough. Wow.
Anakin's got a fighting chance to kill
Yoda.
Yoda.
Turn 2? Kylo done?
Yeah, this is not going well for Philippe. I would have given, and he didn't even. Oh, he rolled in Kylo. Never mind. I would have given Philippe the advantage here, but this is not looking good. And Anakin is.
There's no money for Anakin.
He's got a 2. He's
but
he got Yoda dead.
Fully loaded.
At least Anakin has a chance. Anakin has a chance here with this heirloom. Last game when he didn't have the heirloom, he's toast. I mean, I'd definitely do a reroll. Because I mean, if not, you're leaving either reroll or claim. You're leaving damage out on the board potentially. What's really interesting is that Philippe never seemed to have money with resources when he played against me. So with the CQA in hand, I don't know if his other card is a villain card or not, but you should probably discard the CQA because it's a neutral. If you hit the special on Anakin, you can do something with it if the other card's villain. If it's not, you just basically have to reroll. So we see 2 Rens and I think it was an Obi Saber in hand there. Oh, Steven claimed and pinged Anakin.
Oh, for speed to reroll.
Hey, you can't discard a neutral and do anything.
No, but it was a blue.
Anakin's special was dead. No, it's if it's a villain card, it does 2 damage. If it's a hero card, it does 2 shields. If it's a neutral, it does nothing.
It's gonna be
It's definitely
uphill.
an uphill battle here.
Okay, well, he got an ancient lightsaber for the healing.
Sure. You never know, guys. I mean, when I was playing the Swiss today, I had 8 damage on my 7th Sister turn 2 against Yoda Hondo, and I managed to do some shenanigans and pull off a Rise again and do an ancient heal, and I was back down to like 1 hit point and 2 shields the next turn.
Double Shoda. Oh.
I mean, those would be good plays on Qui-Gon, but it depends on the mitigation that Philippe's got in hand. But the
Feel your anger,
Emeralds,
maybe.
there's only 1 blank. There's no point.
But I mean, he's showing.
It's not over yet. Oh, hit the double. Oh, double
Oh, 'cause
Shotos.
of the Shoto, right.
Maybe it is over then. I didn't notice the second Shoto. So Qui-Gon has no damage on him at all, and he's basically taking away 2 damage a turn and has mitigation. So yeah, this can be really tough, particularly with Anakin's dice, which are not so good. So Qui-Gon is basically
Pinging
at,
to death. Yeah.
I can't tell. I think it's just 2 shields.
Yeah, he's too
So,
kissy.
Yeah, I know. I there's a shadow on it. I couldn't tell if it was 2 or 1.
Now, is that really like I would have played the ancient lightsaber to a guaranteed heal too? Because here is just pinging one, pinging one, pinging one.
Anakin has a lot of pace sides, and he's gonna do some rerolling. And if he's got no mitigation, then like don't play the ancient when you've already rolled in. You play the Force solution because when he rolls 4 damage, which is lethal, and it's all modified because of the Shotos, you can survive. Typically, it's not. Force solution is not very good against the Qui-Gon matchup because aside from
shield,
Shotos and the ancient side, there isn't any modified. But I think you still need to do it. I mean, the Shotos only have 1 unmodified melee side, so and they're showing a decent damage. So don't reroll. It's 4. I mean,
Yeah, pop it.
you gotta do it. Force illusion is tough sometimes when you're just about to kill somebody, but such is life.
Discard to reroll, maybe.
Absolutely. Anakin and the heirloom all have 3 damage sides. Oof.
That's not damage status for sure.
No. Wow. He must have something good in his hand if he's
The ancient.
lightsaber pull. I don't know what he's doing. Why did he look through his discard pile? It's very interesting.
Qui-Gon claimed.
Well, I mean, like you've got 3 reasonably big dice with big damage sides, so I don't know what he needs the 2 for. Maybe taking a resource, he's pulling for a Rise again and get a Maul Saber out.
Does he
Nope,
play Rise again?
wow. I guess he's just trying to get the money to heal because he knows that. But I mean, that's like you're resolving so much damage or so much damage potential worth of dice to put up the ancient to heal 2, and the 2 is gonna go right back on when Qui-Gon rolls in. So this is rough. I mean, the 4 dice he had out.
I don't even think Philippe plays Rise again.
I'm not sure. If he had one, then it would have been a huge mistake to play that heirloom. So I'm assuming he doesn't because if he had 6 damage on him, he had 3 resources. He was going to go to 5.
No.
No Rise again.
No Rise again.
It's not. It's an aggressive deck. Philippe's deck, when he plays, it's basically just.
He has Fear Your Anger.
Does
He
he?
has it in hand. He has it in hand.
You're very excited about that. There it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He has
Wow.
to play. He has to
Dude,
play.
if you roll in, I'm going to kill it.
He has to play.
Absolutely.
If he doesn't,
there's no way
it's
he
a play
won't.
mistake.
There's no way he won't do this. He's taking the damage.
Oh, thank.
So leave a Shoto out and get rid of everything else.
Why Shoto?
Because the Shoto has like 1 resolvable damage side. He's got a No Mercy in hand there. I mean, this could be decent if he rolls well. He could win it. He really needs it too. And the thing about the No Mercy is that you don't really see it coming. So if Qui-Gon's like, oh,
much does
I've
No
got
Mercy
5
cost?
damage, it costs 2, and you discard blue cards from your hand to increase it. But I think he's only got a couple of cards, so he'll have to play it out next turn. At least he played the Ancient before rolling in. He knows he has an out here. But I mean, He's gonna have like 2 hit points left once Qui-Gon rolls in next turn.
I don't like the pay size. Double blanks on.
There's an overconfidence. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to get through this mitigation on Qui-Gon's side. I mean, he's got 12 hit points. Unbreakable. Boom. That's rough. So I think I see. Are those? I can't tell if those are pay sides or not. Anakin. The Anakin.
They're both pay sides. Yeah.
There you go. And the problem with running No Mercy with Anakin is that it's counter. Wow, I'm tired. It doesn't work well with his special, because the special is you have to discard a card in order to do damage, and then you got one less card in your hand, so you don't want to. You don't really want to get both.
Do you discard to see if you can get the heirloom? More damage on the heirloom?
There's a hidden motive in there, and I don't know what the other card is. Is it No Mercy?
It's like
Does it cost 2?
green.
Oh, that's Frightened. It's not. There's no Mercy in there. He runs it in his deck, but there's 5 damage. He's on the board here. So that's good, because that means he's only going to take 1 damage from the Shotos, unless Qui-Gon
Oh, he's healing.
claims first. Yeah, I mean, he's so far behind right now. I mean, Fright wouldn't be bad, but I understand Philippe's frustration with... Oh, gosh. There's another ancient good times. Did he just resolve the heirloom? Oh, I see. He was fast enough ahead that he got both shields off it. Interesting.
And Obi's when he's clear damage.
Well, he doesn't have any shields, so... So Qui-Gon is now full health and can take 2 shields rolling in. So this is...
And it's important to know
This
that
is pre-paid.
Obi's lightsaber, the special, will deal unblockable damage based on
Yep.
the amount of shields you got. So
Exactly. Which is about to be
It's
2,
rough.
and then a third from the Obi's special. I mean, he's got... Philippe's got some decent mitigation in the deck, but this is it's pretty rough, yeah.
that's not.
He needs a decent roll. Like
Yeah,
you saw
that's
that damage he rolled against me in game 3.
Where is that damage?
It's not here. But it's important to get in ahead of Qui-Gon, so you can't be oh dear. There's that. It's important to get ahead of Qui-Gon so he doesn't just blow your turn out with a force misdirection if he rolls melee.
Now, do you discard to reroll? See if you can get something better. Now that he hasn't rolled in yet.
Steven's got $3 and a handful of cards. You gotta resolve the 3. I mean, you can reroll the other stuff later. Will he remember his Shotos? I'm saying it quietly because they're like 20 feet away. Yep. So take a shield, remove a shield. Now he can do. I mean, he basically has almost had lethal on the board by taking those shields. So the Ancient's got to go, and that's why he resolved it first as well, right? Instead of re-rolling. Yeah, that's a problem.
Synchronicity for 1. Right?
Synchronicity is
Oh,
2.
for 2.
So right now with the dice that he has showing, he has 9. He can get Anakin up to 9 damage out of 10 without re-rolling. Unless if he's got another synchronicity, it's already over pretty much. I'm kind of amazed that, I don't know, Philippe was having a good run all day. The only deck that stopped him is this one.
But
With
I
all
mean,
the shields and the mitigation.
it's not like he's playing bad. It's just the rolls
It's
are not
frightened.
going for him, right?
Take by the shields. No, he's not playing bad. Well, it may be that his fundamental design of putting everything on Kylo is flawed. I mean,
Against this matchup.
it doesn't matter who. I mean, everyone's trying to kill your main character first. If you put all your stuff on your main character and none of it has redeploy, then what's going to happen? You're gonna, I play a Seven Sister deck. Guess what happened when Seven Sister dies? The deck falls apart.
That's right.
So that's lethal showing.
Lethal. He has to use the.
No, it doesn't matter because Qui-Gon will just kill him with a roll on next turn. Here comes the doubt. I'm not sure that he has any outs. Like, if he rolled a shield...
That-
Oh, he doesn't have any shields. yeah, that's it. So there we go. Steven Cassell goes 2-0, and he is now the new Canadian national champion, taking the crown away from John Chen. I'm not honestly sure. I mean, when I was playing I guess I should say
CG
yeah, in the chat there, the rationale for going for Yoda first is if you can kill him fast enough, then you can get rid of the consistency and the resources in the deck. But yeah, I mean, Qui-Gon, you probably should have killed Qui-Gon first.
His Yoda special with Qui-Gon is gross.
Yeah, I mean, the games that I beat Steven, I killed Yoda first, but you have to do it really fast. So I think that's actually why the Binds All Things changed to the Castles deck there, is that when Yoda dies, you still have some economy. Yeah, I mean, it can get pretty gross with double binds. I mean, when you get double binds out in a mono blue deck, you're pretty much going to win.
Well, and the thing is that leaving Yoda out there would just, with the focus and the specials, he can just fix Qui-Gon's die so he can guarantee the damage all the
Well,
time.
see, in the deck before the change, before binds, if you kill Yoda, then they run Mind Trick and all that sort of stuff, 3-cost upgrades. Without binds, if Yoda goes down, then all of a sudden you have these expensive cards that you can't play very well and play mitigation at the same time. So
Yeah,
it's,
you can tear that.
it's a better choice.
Yeah.
All right,
Wait, give us a
guys.
second, Graham.
What's going on?
Here. That's gonna wrap us up. So we're gonna start turning out. Hey folks, this is Travis. Thank you, John. Thank you, Alfredo, for jumping in and doing commentary. I really appreciate it. Both of them work on Star Killer Base's channel, so if you want to check out a lot of quality Destiny coverage, head over to their YouTube channel, Star Killer Base. I wanted to thank everyone who's tuned in for Destiny or Armada or X-Wing or Legend of the Five Rings over the course of the weekend, and all the players, 300 plus players that came out here to play at the Final Fantasy Flight Games Canadian Championships here at Breakout Con. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully we get some more people out for it next year even. All of these videos will be going up on our YouTube channel, VTTV Live, over the next couple of weeks. We'll be releasing them as quickly as we can. If you want to support the channel, consider subscribing to us on YouTube or following us on Twitch, or even if you want to, we just kind of got subscriptions enabled on our Twitch channel yesterday. So cool. And last way to support us is potentially supporting us on Patreon. We just launched that a couple weeks ago as well. So it'll help us out a lot. And we're pretty much dead on our feet right now. So we're going to sign off. And I'm sure we'll be coming back at you soon.